Hello everyone, I am Tacit and welcome to the Gems of War stream. So today we are going to be grinding out something a little bit weird this time around, and that is the challenges off of all of the kingdoms. There's a really specific reason for this. Some of you may have already seen, version 4.5, the next version of Gems of War that's going to be coming in the pretty near future. Still no official dates, but very soon, either within the next week or few weeks, though again, no official date. But it's going to be bringing in, among many things, challenges, more challenges, and expansion of challenges. However, the old challenge system that we currently have right now will basically just be completely replaced by it. So we basically wanted to go do this for every single kingdom, for a couple reasons. One is it's very free class XP. These battles are going to take like 15 seconds each, not even, because we can just one-shot kill, repeat, and just keep getting a bunch of XP for it. But also because it will get us one step closer for the challenges next patch. Next patch are going to have 10 sets of 7 challenges. So not only are we going to be missing out on a lot of battles, because right now we could do each of these 5, whereas the first set of them next patch will only be 1. But I believe the overall amount of souls that you would get if you get to do them right now, especially if you do it on something like hard difficulty just to get the 25% extra, will actually yield more souls now than if you were to go and do it later. So just to be ahead of the game and to get slightly more resources and better class XP, you probably want to finish out every challenge in the entire game prior to version 4.5. And again, we have no clue when that's coming, but it could be as early as next week, so just in case, I'm doing them all today. The only problem is figuring out which on Earth are the kingdoms that we haven't done them in, because there is nothing over top the kingdoms that notify us if we have or have not actually done the challenges. But I guess we could start from the bottom and work our way up, or start from the top and work our way over. Not sure exactly how we're going to do this. Alphabetical order, go. No, just kidding. Definitely be easier to do it from one side to the other. So I guess we'll start from, I feel like the bottom would have the absolute most of them, because like this whole entire section right here is, I know for sure it's like not done, not done, not done, not done, not done, not done. So I guess we'll start from the bottom, start from like all the way in the bottom left and kind of move our way over. That's pretty much the game plan. For it, I'll obviously be using a, just any quick kill team. Going to be having it on hard difficulty just so we get the slightly extra souls. I believe we could even set it to Warlord 1. I guess we'll try it on Warlord 1. I'm not sure if that Rowan will be enough damage for all of them, but might even be able to do Warlord 2, actually. How much extra stats is that? Only 15% for Warlord 2, and we get 75% extra souls? Who knows? Maybe we can even do it at 100%. Let's do it! Let's initially do it at 100%, see if we don't kill, and go from there. But I believe we can get away with it at 100%. So, we'll try it. 100% extra souls, 100% extra stats on the enemy. Just to get a little bit extra. Obviously, we don't necessarily need the souls, but more souls is better than not more souls, so we'll do it that way. But hello, everyone! Hello, Elite Gaming! Hello, Mason! Hello, Zontum! Hello, James! Hello, D-Rebus! Hello, Flaming! Hello, Leomar! Hello, Humberto! And hello, Michael! And hello, everyone else! When is next patch? Soon, TM. That is when next patch is. We have no clue when next patch is. Could be as early as next week, could be as late as like 3-4 weeks from now. No official date yet. Won't really know until it happens. We just know that it is soon. So just in case it is next week for whatever reason. I'm pretty sure it's not, but just in case it is, I wanted to get it done this weekend. Just so we already had it done. Better to have it done early than not have it done. Because that would make it so we can't actually do them if the patch was to come. We'd still get resources for it, obviously. It'd probably be slightly less than how it would be otherwise. Okay, is this enough to actually still one-shot? Yes, it is. So far, we haven't had an issue with this yet, but we haven't reached the max star level on it yet. So we'll have to see. Also, I brought the Joy-Con back out. It works surprisingly well because of how well it sits in the hand. It also doesn't make a bunch of clicky noises. Oh, we didn't get a kill. We gotta go down to Warlord 2 difficulty. Warlord 3 is definitely not gonna be possible then. It needs the one-shot always. Okay, let's go down to Warlord 2 difficulty and see if that's still enough. This will bring them down to only 50% extra stats for 75% extra souls. This should be within kill range every time, I would assume. And yeah, we'll just have to keep it at Warlord 2. I don't think we can get away with Warlord 3, it doesn't look like, unfortunately. But still, Warlord 2 is 75% soul bonus. It's not that big a difference between 100%. A little bit extra. Also, keep in mind, they are starting to phase out the whole difficulty thing. This difficulty thing that we're setting in order to get more resources. It's one of the other reasons why I'm doing this right now. The new challenges will not have any difficulty settings to them, and in general, they're basically going to be removing almost all the difficulty settings from the game in order for game modes to have their own natural difficulty setting attached to them. But, yeah, that's going to be slowly phased out over the next few patches. The only slightly concerning one, though, is they might be doing the same for Explore, and we don't know how far they're going to upscale Explore, which hopefully won't be too bad, because that would be very, very annoying if Explore is basically nerfed, but we'll have to see exactly how they end up doing it. Though, if they made Explore 2 XP per battle while still making it take slightly longer, it would still be the quickest method. But it depends how they go about it. Hey, you know I want to play Minecraft. No, I don't. We will eventually, probably just for fun. I'm not even sure what platform I would get it on. Probably PC, I guess. Also, wow, how is this durability so high? Do I need to go and set it down another difficulty? How did that not even remotely close to one shot? Yeah, that wasn't even close. Let me see how it goes on this next one. Maybe I do need to put it down to like Warlord 1 or hard. I assumed the Rowan would have enough for most of these, even at a higher difficulty like that. Apparently not. How much is it to get VIP 5? It is $130. The best way normally to do it is Death Knight pack into a bunch of the flash offers that they keep offering. Is normally the way to go. Why am I doing challenges? Now you won't get better rewards if you do them after the patch. Both. You do and you don't. Basically what's going to be happening with challenges is there's 10 sets of 7 next patch, each of which giving various rewards. The first set of 7 will automatically be done if you've done the challenges that currently exist, the ones that we know today. The first set of 7 of the 7 sets of 10 will already be done, and it's going to be soul related, obviously, so that they kind of match up. However, the amount of souls and the amount of class XP you would gain from doing it now would actually outweigh the amount that you would get from doing it then. So you basically, well, not only will you be ahead by already having every single kingdom's first set out of 10 completed, but you will also get more resources pretty much from doing it now compared to before. Do keep in mind, you still get the other 9 sets, which will be bringing in a lot of resources. But based on just what you would get from completing the first set now or the first set later, it would actually be better overall loot to complete it now. Yeah, there's still a whole another 9 sets of 7. So it's not like this automatically completes out all challenges next patch. It just completes out the first section of it. Let's see. But yeah, if anyone else has any questions, let me know. Because this will probably be a little bit more of a discussion stream. Since there isn't really any event to do this weekend, the only thing we really have to do is grind whatever we want to grind. And of course, this is one of the things I wanted to grind this weekend. That and the hero class, so we get to kill 2 birds with 1 stone with that. Because, of course, we're gaining Corsair EXP while grinding through all of these. So that's pretty convenient, because I need to try getting this to level 70 in the near future. So that's actually viable to use. I want to have it before Guild Wars, and Guild Wars is next week. So that is one of my goals this weekend, is to get this hero class to level 70 as well, so we can go and use it for Guild Wars next week. Because +3 blue is going to be kind of interesting to see how that pans out on Blue Guild War Day, which is obviously the main thing I want to use it for. Am I willing to play little flash games that can be completed in 1 and 2 hours? I have in the past. I don't think I would ever actually stream it on the channel, though. I'm not sure. But I have quite a bit in the past. It's been a while, though. Let's see. Oh, you completed all the 5 stars already? I'm pretty sure most people did. Also, hello, Liamar. Welcome. I'm pretty sure most people already did do this, just because it's required for 6-star all kingdoms. However, for anyone who was already ahead of the stars, because of the rollover star system from like a year and a half ago, might not have necessarily had all the challenges done. And that was the case with me, so I'm just doing them all now. But yeah, there probably are a good handful of people that already have them done. Because if you started the game after the star system switch To even have any kingdom at 6+ stars, you have to already have these challenges done. Oh, there's our 20 gems. Well, that didn't take long. That didn't take long at all. What do I think of the flash offer? Oh, I didn't even look at the flash offer, to be honest. Let me go check it. What is the flash offer? I assume it's pretty average, but I'll go check it. Because there's not any kind of special event or anything going on right now. Oh! Wait, it's not Vault Event. Wait, am I going crazy? Yeah, it's not Vault Event. Yeah, that's the best flash offer they ever offer. This is tied... Well, it is literally the best one they've ever offered, because this was the best one last time. But yeah, this is insanely good value. If you feel like spending money on the game, that is actually ridiculously good value. It's the best offer they've ever offered, and this is the second time they've ever offered it. Not sure if they're going to keep doing this offer into the future. But yeah, 10 epic ingots. Ingots are really annoying to get right now. That probably will be fixed slightly in the future, but as it currently stands, they are excessively annoying to get. Vault Key is really random in what kind of loot it can give. However, it can give you quite literally like 100 gems, 250 gems, 20 gem keys, stuff like that. And while it could give you complete trash, its overall average value is probably around 80 gems or so. And of course, 100 gems is just the baseline of what this normally gives. But yeah, that's insanely good, that offer. They've only ever done that twice, once before and now with that. But that specific one with all that. But yeah, if you want to spend some money on it, it's definitely worth it. I personally won't be going for it, obviously, but it is definitely good value. See you, Mason. Have a good time. Okay, get a Rowan down. Is it Gnome event right now? No. I almost thought it was for a second when I saw that. It's like, wait, what? Because that's actually the first time they've ever had that offer when it wasn't a Gnome event. A Vault Key related offer like that. But no, it's not a Vault event. A Vault event's not till September 13th. We definitely would have gotten Gnomes by now. Also, the notification thingy would have been underneath the other thing. But no, it's definitely not Gnome event. September 13th is the next Gnome weekend, which I believe is 3 weeks from now, right? I believe that's 3 weeks from now. It's actually a bit of a gap. I believe that's like a 6-week gap between the previous event. But I believe the main reason for that is because the patch is coming in between that time. And I guess they didn't want it running through the patch or something. I'm not sure. But I'm pretty sure the confliction was because of the patch. It's going to be around that same time. Again, no official date on it, but it's likely within the next week to 3 weeks. We'll go for that for now. Also, we do have something happening this weekend, though. We are going to be getting the Dragon Kitty again. I believe it's this Sunday. So this Sunday, if I'm not mistaken, we'll have a... Actually, we can see it right now. Duh. I forgot. The pet's not active anymore. It should actually tell us underneath the page. Let's go double check that real quick. I could have actually checked that yesterday, and I completely forgot about it. But yeah, Dragon Kitty should be showing up as... if we don't currently have a pet, it should be showing up as... Oh, oops. Well, we currently have a pet. But it should be showing up as Sunday for the little Dragon Kitty thingy. We'll be able to see in 38 minutes. Also, I need to make sure I go do that pet. Let's see. Let's just finish out the challenges in this kingdom, and then I guess we'll go do the pet. Make sure to put my difficulty back to normal after we do that. Oh, it's Saturday? Okay, never mind. Oh, so it's tomorrow then. Nice. Yeah, if you didn't get it, definitely make sure to get it. Hello, Joe. Welcome. Am I still streaming Fire Emblem? No. However, I will be starting to make video content for the game soon. The main reason I kind of stopped streaming Fire Emblem is, one, I kind of started doing it on my off time, and the other is because there were almost 0 viewers. And by almost 0 viewers, I mean there were quite literally times when it was 0 viewers. So I figured there just wasn't as much of an interest for it if we quite literally had like 0 to 5 viewers most of the time. So it was like, yeah, no. Like, I don't mind, but still, that's, if there's not an interest for it, then I obviously wouldn't really be doing it on this channel. However, what I will be doing soon is guide videos on the game in the near future. Because I've gotten far enough and a decent enough understanding of the game, and as I was going through data, various stuff, and just on YouTube, there is a gigantic lack of guides. So I figured I'd fill that gap a little bit. So I will be posting guide videos for Fire Emblem in the very, very, very near future. Maybe even this weekend, possibly, alongside probably a Gems of War video going over the most recent Corsair hero class. But Yeah, we will be going over Fire Emblem stuff soon. You'll see that's like randomly on the channel soon. Just covering a bunch of stuff with that. Let's see, we'll grab that. But no, I will be covering more stuff with Fire Emblem. I absolutely love the game. Fire Emblem Three Houses. Hello, Carlo. Welcome. Hey, no problem, David. Oh yeah, the story for the game is extremely good. It's one of the best things it has going for it. It also has 4 paths as well. And I've only completed through 1 into completion so far. Though I've partially done 2 of the other ones as well. It has a lot of content. Also, I love grinding, and it has a lot of things to grind. Actually, if you were to 100% grind the game, it actually has probably over 1,000 hours of grind. If you were to do absolute max of everything. Because it actually requires around 30 plus playthroughs. If you want to do like absolute 100% for the game, it requires about 30 playthroughs of the game. Like an absurdly high amount. But it's actually that good of a game that I would almost consider doing that. Especially since after you reach a certain point, after like your first few runs, you're going to be able to get them done like very, very quick. Like a full playthrough after you've completed a couple times could take like 5 hours if you wanted to rush through it. Is there a way to bulk buy the flash offer, or do you need to keep repeating it? You do have to keep repeating it. There's unfortunately no way to bulk buy it. You kind of think they would add an option for that. They ended up doing that for glory rewards, because obviously in the past, glory rewards were excessively annoying to have to buy them one at a time. But no, to my understanding, there's currently no way to multi-buy them. And I believe the main reason this is the case is because of how the transactions work within the game, in the way that they kind of need to have them separate. It's one of the reasons why whenever we see sales in this game, it is normally an increase in the amount of resources rather than a actual cut of price of some of the jet packs, like gems. And the main reason for that is just because of how they have the have all the transactions coded. So I believe it might never be possible to multi-buy them. But yeah, as it currently stands, you can only buy them one at a time. So you have to click it 8 times over and over again, doing 8 different transactions in order to actually buy it. Not sure if they'll ever change that, but that is how it is currently. Normally that's not too big a deal, but obviously if they're doing like a 5 VIP key offer or the current 8 VIP key offer with a bunch of other stuff, those instances would obviously be very useful because it would probably take a few minutes just to spam buy the thing, because you have to go through the buy window every single time to do it. Which challenge am I doing? All of them. Oh, currently I'm doing pet battle, or the pet, because we currently have a pet active. But I'm doing literally every last challenge we have in the game in order to get the souls off of them, and in order to be one step ahead for next patch when it comes around. Is there a benefit to finishing all of these challenges before the patch? Yes. They net more EXP doing them prior to the patch. They are going to be quicker doing them prior to the patch, and they will net you more souls doing them prior to the patch. They will also get you a head start at the next patch, because if you already have all the first sets done, like if you have every challenge currently completed, it'll have the first set of 10 sets completed for next patch already. So it's one less that you'll have to do next patch. And there's like 20 hours of challenges next patch. Gonna try doing it probably all in the first weekend that it releases. But it depends exactly when it releases. Who knows? Maybe I'll even do it midweek. It really just depends when the patch is coming out specifically. Oh, that'd be annoying if it comes out next Tuesday, though, because I was already planning on grinding like crazy on the Delve event. Yeah, next Tuesday is probably going to be our biggest Gems of War stream for a while that we've had. I'm going to be completing out the entirety of level 500 Pure Faction All-Seeing Eye, and we'll be doing that until it's completed. Probably all in one stream. I might actually separate it into 2 because we'll have the nightly stream, but a good majority of it would all be in one stream. Yeah, it's going to take a while. I believe it's going to take like 12 hours or something next Tuesday. Or maybe closer to 10. Depends how it goes. Well, we need to get done eventually. Don't you have to do all the challenges to level up power? Yes, but if you had the stars already on the previous star system, you didn't need to do them. So a lot of people probably already have all the challenges done. Like any people who are like late game right now, probably already have most challenges done. Though oddly enough, some people who are like all the way in end game probably don't have it done because the previous system did not require them to be done. But yeah, it's kind of weird how it is, but yeah, I just happen to not have them done. But a good number of people probably do. Unless you're like a newer to still in like mid game, or if you're like all the way in end game. Those are like the only instances where you would might not have them done yet. But definitely worth doing if you haven't already, for sure. Highly advise it to have all of them done before next patch. Yeah, and also keeps people from accidentally spending absurd amount of monies, yeah. That makes sense as well. I'll do a grab here. Let's stick the brown over. You wanted to make statistics about soul gain, and said you should do them on Warlord 3 or 4 and pass. Why don't I do that? Because that would just maximize the amount of souls. We're not trying to maximize the amount of souls right now. While I am doing this to gain some souls, we're not trying to max them out. What we're trying to do right now is just get them done so we can have them for progress and for class XP. And because of that, I'm trying to one-shot them. Well, obviously we're not doing them right now, we're doing the pet battle. But I'm trying to do the one-shot method for them, just so that we gain quicker class XP. We're still gaining a pretty substantial amount of souls. Warlord 2, it's only going to make a 50% soul change. And just going to be a lot slower if we do it the other way around. The main reason I've mentioned Warlord 3 or 4 in the past, particularly Warlord 4, is mainly because you only get to do these once. However, there's so many better soul farming methods that doesn't really matter too much these days. Yeah, Warlord 2 just for one shot's perfectly fine. It's only 50 soul difference, and it gets done so much quicker that it's still efficient soul gains. It's just the fact that you can only ever do them once kind of made it slightly more enticing to do it at a higher difficulty. Which is why we're still doing it at a higher difficulty. It's not all the way max, otherwise Rowain won't kill. We were trying out Warlord 3 earlier, but most of the battles it wasn't killing. And to constantly keep changing it just wastes too much time. Because we did start doing it on Warlord 3, but then I lowered it down to Warlord 2. And Core 0 will just keep ticking up slowly over time. I believe he's almost at 60. Or never mind, 50. Oh, I wish he was at 60. No, go to 60 already now. We'll go explode that. Still got a ways to go, actually. That's what happens when you don't buy any EXP whatsoever. Or pretty much no EXP. I'm so used to buying it up. It's also why we have so many excess gems right now. I am so used to buying them up, but oh well. We probably will next class. It depends how useful it actually is, though. I forget if it was. I believe it's Blighted Lands. It seemed kind of average last I checked it. And by average, I mean it's probably slightly below average. Also, what on earth just happened with that text right there? That was really, really weird. I wonder if using controller is messing with that some. We're winning too quick for the game to handle. Back when you started getting extra souls by doing the 5-star challenges at Warlord 4 was useful. Yeah, it still kind of is to this day. It's just that there's so many better ways to gain souls now. At one point, challenges actually used to be the only way to gain souls in the game. The amount of souls these give actually haven't been changed since day 1 of the game. Other than the fact that there's difficulty settings. But they still give the exact same base loot as they did on day 1. Back when souls were around like 50 times rarer than they were now. And at one point, you couldn't even really effectively infinitely farm souls. The only real way that you could do it was off of challenges. And then when you ran out of challenges, you were kind of out of luck a little bit. Because you just had to get more copies of troops in order to really get souls. And you had to disenchant them a bunch and stuff like that. But yeah, souls used to be really, really scarce. The rate of souls back in the game after you completed all challenges at one point was around 100 souls per hour, if even that. Now you can get upwards of 50,000 souls per hour So it is increased by a very, very, very large margin. And these challenges are obviously very dated because of that. But they're finally updating them now. Starting next patch. Good morning, Clarence! Welcome! Also, wow, a lot of time already went by. It felt like we just started the stream and we're already 25 minutes in. I guess it's because the pacing of the battles are going so quick. So it makes it seem like more time is going by. Because we're winning like every 15 seconds. Pretty much. Because they just die instantly. If anyone still has any other questions, let me know. Also, I have been in more of a guide video like mood lately. So I probably will be starting to, other than for Fire Emblem, also doing stuff for, obviously, Gems of War very soon. Going over all the things I might not have covered recently, as well as into the future. And, of course, for next patch, because 4.5 is right around the corner, so we'll have some stuff to cover with that. But if you guys have any suggestions for that, too, feel free to leave it. I still have a list of things I need to cover related to Gems of War in that regard. And adding more to it would definitely be nice. And if you guys have any suggestions, just let me know. Most stuff we have covered, but some of them I should probably be updating too. Because we still have a lot of older guides, stuff that might have been done like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Also, I'm going to need to do a new soul farming guide next patch. Because it's finally not going to be meta anymore. Because the meta for it is to do it off of challenges, and challenges won't exist. Theoretically, I could also do an HP farming one, though I don't think that would be as useful. Most people don't bother farming HP. Even though that method will also be nerfed next patch indirectly. Have I played Arena lately? No. Nothing but doomed weapons and life and death. I believe they fixed the glitch with doomed weapons. However, they are still pretty devastating, even with the glitch fixed. There was a glitch, I believe, that was fixed in the most recent patch, where they used to actually apply their affixes. Not sure if they still do. Pretty sure they fixed it, I'm not actually sure. They talked about fixing it, I'm not sure if they actually fixed it, though. Because them saying they fixed it and actually fixing it are two completely different things. That text keeps glitching out every single time we finish out the challenge. That's pretty funny. It's not lagging, though, which is nice, at least. I'm actually surprised Life and Death is used a lot in Arena, but I guess it's a really safe pick. It might not be the quickest of options, but it is very, very, very safe, to say the least. Just because you keep gaining more and more life, and you have the double death mark. Of course, you don't have to bless and all that, because it doesn't apply to affixes. It's still really solid. I just feel like it'd be slower compared to other options that are available. Farming XP seems a bad idea. Yeah, farming XP in this game is pretty much pointless. There is really no point within the game that you really need to. The only time where it might be somewhat considered worth farming XP is if you're around the level 500-ish range. To get up to 1,000 could potentially be worth farming XP for. And the main reason for that is a lot of guilds have or at least a lot of bigger guilds have a level 1,000 plus requirement. It's also the highest level that any default recruiting guilds can have as a requirement is level 1,000. So it makes it a lot easier to join guilds. Even if your account is progressed, like it's only a level 300 account, if you're level 1,000 plus, it will be a lot easier to get into guilds. Because it makes it seem like you have more progress on your account, even if you don't. The higher your level in general, the more progress it looks like is on your account. And if you're not currently in a good guild, that could be a way to try to get into a good guild. By making it seem like you have a lot of progress on it, even if it currently doesn't. And then that makes it easier to get progress on it, because if you're in a bigger guild, you obviously get a lot of free resources. As long as you can maintain the requirement, you end up getting a lot of loot. When it comes to Delve, is there a specific way to spend the Horde resources? Or just throw them at Horde in any order? You generally do it from smaller resources to bigger resources, mainly because every single treasure that you put into your Horde costs gold, and you don't want to waste as much gold. So for the lower levels, you tend to do the smaller treasures. I've covered a video on it in the past. Generally, how you go about it is From level 0 to 20, you can use bags. From 20 to 50, you use rings. From 50 to 100 or 50 to 75, if you're a little bit earlier in the game, you use chalices. From 100 to about 150, you use crowns. From 150 to 200 or so, you use genie lamps. And anything about 150 plus, you can just throw the sacred treasure on. But that's approximately what they're used on. Obviously, you don't have to use them exactly like that. But those are the ranges in which you tend to use them, because using the smaller ones any further than a certain point starts to give really bad return, because you're wasting a lot of gold to barely get any EXP. You should always be saving your bigger treasures for the higher levels. It depends what your goal is, though, for every single one. For example, if you're only trying to get each one currently to level 50, or to level 100, I mean, in order to get the max renown for each faction, you'd most likely only throw bags up to 10, rings up to about 30 or so, chalices up to 50, crowns up to about 75, and then genie lamps and sacred treasure up to 100. But of course, if you're doing it for 200, you do it kind of how I just mentioned it previously, and you just adjust it by that. But yeah, that's basically how it goes. It just depends if you're going for a level 100 goal or 200 goal for each faction. Do you think it's worth upgrading Delves to level 200? If so, how much gold do you think it will be necessary? It depends what treasure you use. But generally, it takes anywhere from about 3 to 5 million gold, though it can cost more, though depending on your treasures, it could even cost less. But it's about 3 to 5 million gold to go from 0 to 200. But again, it depends what treasures you're using. Could be way more than that, depending on which ones you use. It also could be less, depending on which ones you use. But I feel like on average, it takes me around 4 million, I want to say. 4 or 5 million. Okay, I think that was all the challenges from this one. Okay, 2 kingdoms down, 1 billion more to go. But hey, free class XP. And free souls. Not like we needed souls, though. Hello, Chaotic! Welcome! But yeah, we'll be doing a lot of faction stuff next week. The entirety of next week is basically going to be faction week. From next Tuesday to the following Tuesday, we are probably going to do 2 or 3 level 500 peer factions. That is going to be a lot of level 500 peer factions. That's also going to be a lot of gems and a lot of gold being burned. But it's still worth it. Also, at that point, I will have almost every single faction to level 2,500. I mean, to 500 pure faction completion. I believe we're only going to be missing 4 or 5 at that point, as far as ones that we don't have done. Yeah, it's going to be very, very close. And if I do that, that also means I'll have every single faction completed from Silver Necropolis all the way to Crypt. We will have every single faction completed to 500. The only ones that we wouldn't have to 500, actually I could check it just by doing this, it'd probably be easier. The only ones I will not have at 500 are... not Sunken Fleet. Well, Sunken Fleet as well. Or never mind. What's this one called? I know that's not Sunken Fleet. Sea of Sorrows. Yeah, Sea of Sorrows. The only ones that we won't have at 200 are Sea of Sorrows, Primal Rift, Warrens, because we're farming it, Dark Pits. What was the other one called? One of these is Dark Pits, one of them is, wow, I forget what the other one's called now. But whatever it is. And what's the next one after that? Wait, where is the... Why is there a gap between them? Hold up. Why is there like a random gap? They're supposed to be next to each other. Fail. I was going to do that to track the things. Why did it have just like a gigantic gap? But yeah, we're only going to have like 4 or 5. Fangmore, yeah, that's the one. But yeah, the only ones we're not going to have maxed are... Let's just do it here. It'll be easier to keep track of. Are going to be Sea of Sorrows, Primal Rift, Warrens, because we farm it, Fangmore, and Dark Pits. So that's 5 of them. So every other faction we will have maxed as of 2 Tuesdays from now. Not next Tuesday, but the following Tuesday. We will have everything maxed except for those 5. Fangmore, Dark Pits, Primal Rift, Warrens, and Sea of Sorrows will be the only ones I don't have completed to that point. Which I might do eventually, just not yet, because that's going to cost a lot of gems. Hopefully the new format next patch will make it a little bit easier. Not sure it will that much, but you never know. We did the pet already, right? Yeah. Just double checking just in case. Anyways, back to challenges. So yeah, only 5 factions left. That's not too bad. That means we're only going to be missing, let's see, I'm missing 350 per each of the factions. I'm missing 5 of them. So that means I'm going to be missing, what is the math on that? That is 1,850, right? I believe I did that correct. But I'm going to be missing 1,850 points by not having those 5 factions at max. That's not too big a deal. 1,850 is a very small amount to be missing from it. Though eventually we might have max Renown. It depends if they ever add something really good to the Renown. Like if they say like at 100,000 Renown we're gonna get like this unique one-of-a-kind troop or weapon or some kind of like really unique thing, then it'd be a little bit more enticing once it gets a little bit closer to go and get all of them to 500 pure faction. But right now there's not really much of an incentive other than for the extra stats, which we might be able to actually go and squeeze an extra stat in there by having that a little bit early. Let me see, what's the current rotation on it? No. The extra that we're going to be doing next week will not be. Well, we're going to naturally get it when a new kingdom comes out, but it's not going to go to the next section, I don't think. Because even if we 2,500 in the next faction, that brings us to 28,810, and then we would need to cover a gap of like 1,200 or so, which we would not be able to do with 3 factions. Doing 3 factions will cover a gap of almost about 1,000. However, we need to cover a gap of 1,000 and a little bit extra. So if we did another faction after that, we'd be able to get whatever the stat is after that. So I'm not sure what's after that armor, but we could theoretically get that armor and one other one if we were to do it for 3 weeks in a row. If I do pure faction for both the 2 factions next week, the faction after that, and the faction after that. Oh no, I can't do it for the faction after that, actually. You know why? It is Crypt, and we already have Crypt completed. Never mind, okay. Yeah, we'll just do it up to Hall of Guardians then, most likely, and just get that other stat a little bit later, and then worry about the other ones into the future. Not going to worry about them yet. I don't know, maybe we start worrying about them. I don't know. That's going to burn through a lot of gems, but maybe we do start pure factioning every single delve to 500 using our gems. That'll be a real waste of gems, though, if they ever add another method for it. But, I don't know, we don't have much else to spend our gems on right now. So it would be, I guess, somewhat worth it. Who knows? Maybe we'll start doing that. That's going to be annoying doing that literally every Tuesday, though. Like, after the first time I do it, it's going to be like, oh, no. Just because it's going to take so long. Because we have to play delves for, like, over 12 hours in a day, most likely. If we do it to completion. If we were to rush through them, we wouldn't have to do it as long. However, we would waste a lot of potential loot if we rush through them. Oh, no, maybe we will. It depends. I probably wouldn't, though. Because we also get leaderboard if we actually do them to completion. And we get a lot of orbs along the way. As well as some of our gems back. Who knows, maybe we'll even get our first power orb. I highly doubt it, though. Some people throw way too many gems at it for us to try to contest the power orb. Especially since we don't specifically need power orbs. It'd be a bit of a waste. Yeah, the new faction will make it so we go to another stat. I was talking about the stat after that stat, though. Is what I was referring to. I wasn't talking about the +1 armor, but the one after the +1 armor. But yeah, obviously next faction will give us the +1 armor. But I was talking about the one after that. The 1 HP or whatever it's going to be, or 1 attack. But yeah, that 1 armor we'll have next Friday. Basically 1 week from today we'll have that 1 armor. I was referring to the stat after that. Oh, grab that. What's better, using another method or flexing? For what? I'm not sure what you mean by that. But generally, it's just better just to wait for a new faction to come out. You can get a little over 2,000 renown from a single faction. Normally, you can get around 2,100 or 2,150 or so pretty easily. Because all you have to do for that is complete it to 500, deathless, as well as get the horde to level 100. And doing that will give you 2,000. And then if you do pure faction at like 100 or 150, that would give you 100 or 150. Whatever you do it at is how many extra it gives. And then you just go and at a later point do it at level 500 pure faction. which is excessively hard to do, but gives a little bit of extra points towards your factions. Yeah, we do eventually get +1 magic from factions. I forget what number it's at. I believe it was at 36,000, wasn't it? We're not anywhere near 36,000, though. I'm pretty sure it was 36,000. Whenever we reach 4 HP, 4 armor, and 2 attack, the next one will be 1 magic. So actually, we can determine, we can actually reverse engineer that right now then. Let me see. What's our current stat bonus from that? We currently get, okay, so the next one's armor. Next one after that's attack, then HP, armor, then magic, right? Okay. So, yeah, we still got a ways to go on that then. But yeah, the one after that armor should be attack then. Right? Please so. Unless I'm looking at that wrong. But yeah, we get the armor, then the attack, then the HP, then the armor, then the magic. And we've currently have never gotten magic from them yet. Oh, that's not where I want to go. Out of Underworld. Actually, I didn't even need to go to Underworld to check that. Why did I go to Underworld? Fail. Well, we won't be getting that many factions in the near future. Isn't next faction 13, if I'm not mistaken? I believe we have 12 right now. I believe it's for Leonis Empire next faction. Which is going to be pretty bad synergy because Leonis Empire is not that good. Hello, Christy! Welcome! You a lot of resources. But I'm at the point where we have enough excess resources that we're just going to try maxing out every faction for the most part. As long as we don't dip below 20,000 gems, we'll be fine. And the only reason I have so much right now is because I was deliberately trying to save them up for this grind that we're going to be doing, all the pure factions. It's currently one of the bigger gem sinks in the game, if you actually do want to get like every single kingdom to level 500 pure faction. Biggest gem sink is trying to do that, just because there's not really a good method to do so other than throwing gems at it. It's not the only method, but it's the most efficient method. There are a lot of factions that can be done simply by getting a horde level to about 200 and then attempting it multiple times without any potions. The problem with that is it uses your delves for weeks or possibly even months if you get really unlucky. Why 20k gems? In case they ever add a new feature that requires an absurd amount of gems, I want to have at least 20,000. Ideally. Because you never know. While they haven't really been adding much lately that's really been requiring gems, like for example, I don't believe anything next patch actually gem sinks, which is kind of surprising. There's a bit of a gold sink, a little mini one, but I don't believe there's a single gem sink, which is nice. But they really haven't been adding that many lately. They added a lot last year, but this year they didn't really touch gem sinks that much, which is nice, because I guess they kind of situated it out the other year. But yeah, just in case they ever add some kind of new feature that does require an absurd amount of gems for whatever reason, I just want to have a reserve just so we can throw it at it. The main reason why I want to keep at least 20,000. It's always advised to keep at least a few thousand just in case, because of that. But obviously later in the game you can hoard more because you accumulate them at a higher rate. Because just off a tribute alone, we could get upwards of 1,000 gems per day if we were actually to take our tribute like every, if we were to take it 10 times a day. I think I take it slightly less than 10 times a day. But if I was to take it 10 times a day, I believe it's over, it's almost 1,000 gems a week. I'm not even sure how many times I take it currently. I just randomly take it here and there. I don't actually keep track specifically how many times I click it in a week. But I know on average these days it's like almost a little over 10 gems per click on the tribute thing. Just because as more and more factions get upgraded, it's just an easier chance that you get more gems and more resources from it. Yeah, we don't even know if they're going to really add any more gem sync. Obviously, there's a good chance they could, because obviously it's the premium currency of the game. So if they were to sync anything, gem is probably the most likely thing. But I don't know, time will tell. Currently, it seems like they don't really have any plans on gem syncing. The gem economy actually seems pretty well balanced at the moment, for the most part. Hopefully they never nerf tributes, though. They actually said that they might eventually, but that's mostly because there'd be so much bonus that it might just be more than they ever really anticipated for it to earn, as more and more kingdom upgrades come into the game. But as it currently stands, they have no direct intention on nerfing it yet. Because if you wonder where I get all my gems, it's almost all from tribute. Almost all of my excess gems is specifically from tribute. Because the ones I get from the guild normally go directly back into guild-related events, like raids, invasions, stuff like that. So any excess I have is almost entirely because of tribute. If you get on average 15 tribute kingdom per tribute, you will get 1k with 10 per 10 per day. I think my average is a little bit lower than that. I'm actually not sure what the average is. I would have to do the math on it. You'd have to take every single percent, though, to figure that out. That would be a lot of math. It's not worth the time. Pretty sure someone will do it eventually. That's just a bit too much math for me, though. I like math that can be done in the head. I don't like doing extremely complicated algebra or anything like that, though. I've always loved math. I just don't love really extremely complicated math. How many Water... wait, what? Water Inferni do you plan to get next Mythic? Oh, 1. I'm not planning on getting multiple. Unless we get pure luck and somehow get pulled 2. Expect how many resources we burned through last time. A second copy if I want one. If I ever need multiple copies ever of any Mythic, I will always simply just, for now on, just get it with diamonds at a later point. Because we have way too many diamonds, and they don't seem to be adding a diamond sink anytime soon. And I don't even think people would want a diamond sink, because that would actually probably be a bit controversial. Because a good majority of players do not have excess diamonds. But like the top like 1% of players have more diamonds than they know what to do with. Like the full-blown, already 100% completion kind of people have enough diamonds that they can do literally nothing with them. Just because they have so much excess. Because I can't use them for anything. I own every weapon, so I can't throw it at that. I own every Mythic, so I can't throw it at that. I guess we could try buying up to 4 copies of every Mythic, but that would be pointless. Any Mythic that needs multiple copies, I believe I already have. Actually, there is one combination I don't have. I believe I don't have 2 Possessed Kings yet. 2 Possessed Kings is theoretically useful sometimes. I wouldn't really advise doing it, but it's technically not awful. It's actually used for one specific thing, oddly enough, and that's for running Darkstone. Or not Darkstone, it's used for running Plague Lord Tuesday event, or Thursday event. Obviously, running that a little bit quicker means almost nothing. But I believe that's the one instance where it's actually pretty good, other than just using 2 of them just for fun to see a lot of explosions. How would Tribute get nerfed? If they were to ever nerf Tributes, it would probably just be a rework to how the star system works, and just slightly tweaking like overall like loot that you would get from it. Like it would specifically be to the star system, not necessarily to Tribute itself, but to how the star system is. I feel like they might do that when they expand the star system from 20 to 30. If they were to ever expand the star system from 20 to 30, which will eventually happen, most likely, in about probably 2 years from now, I would say. But if that was to ever happen, that is likely when they would tweak it to rebalance it a little bit for the lower level range and mid-level range. Or mostly for the higher level range, I guess. Because the other 2 wouldn't really matter as much. But if they were to expand it all the way from 20 to 30, then obviously they might need to tone back some of the other rewards a little bit. Just so it's not like an absurdly high amount. It'd probably net be higher than it is now. However, the lower ones, in order for the next ones to be higher, might need to be a little bit lower. Unless they make it non-resource related. Like maybe other various bonuses or stuff like that. Because they could always just make it so it has no correlation to resources when you get it upgraded. Not sure exactly how they would do that, though. They somewhat did that for Kingdom level, though, in that you can get team bonuses upgraded by doing that. So maybe they'll start slowly doing all the bonuses that way or something. But then again, it wouldn't be that enticing if that's all you get. Like a 0.25 higher tribute reward chance, or tribute just chance in general, or reward increase, is not the biggest of things, but it's a lot more useful than if they were to just add like a random bonus that you're never going to use. Like a lot of those Kingdom bonuses that are coming on next patch, while some of them are going to be very, very useful, a good majority of them are almost never going to be touched. Theoretically, we could add all the percent chances of tribute together for the average number of Kingdom tributes per hour. Would that work? Now, most of mine are around like a 40-something%, if I'm not mistaken. Some of them are more towards a 30-something. I'm pretty sure most of them are in the 40s, like low 40s. Which is why we have an average of around like 12 or 13 tribute or so. I think it's more closer to 12. Because it's 34 kingdoms at around a 40-ish% chance or so. Give or take. Some of them are a bit lower. I think some are as low as like 26% chance or something. Yeah, we will have all classes starting early next year. They were talking about doing something for that. They also were planning on reworking the class system. And it's likely around the time when they would end up doing it. But yeah, we're almost at the point where we have all the classes within the game for every single kingdom. It will be completed within the next half a year. So what they do after that, we don't exactly know yet. I believe they know, they just haven't really disclosed specifically. Good morning, Earthbound. Welcome. Yeah, I believe most of my percents are mid-30s, high 30s, and very low 40s, I believe is where they're at. So we can go check real quick. After we finish this set of challenges. There we go. Set completes. If it stopped lagging. There we go. Anyways, was I looking? Oh yeah, check a couple of the kingdom percents. So there's the 38%. Let's see, let's check some of our lower ones. Mirage is probably our absolute lowest. Yeah, that's what I was referring to when I said 26%. I knew there was at least one of them that was 26%. I knew I was getting that number from somewhere. It was from Mirage, maybe Zoom as well. Yeah, that's at 26%. Zoom is also at 26%. However, if you look at some of the higher ones, like Darkstone and stuff, this is probably at like 41 or something. Yep, that's where I was getting those numbers from. Yeah, so our lowest is 26%, our highest is 41%, and the average is like mid-30s. Like, for example, Suncrest is probably an average one. Oh, no, actually, that's 26% too. Well, what's a 11 or 12 star look like? Let's see. Like, for example, what does this one look like? 36%. Okay, that's where I was getting all those numbers from. So yeah, those are where our percents are. 26%, 36%, and the 41% is where a good majority of my factions or kingdoms are. One of those three, it seems, for the most part. Also, Darkstone will be 17 stars starting next Monday. Though I won't have it upgraded until Tuesday. It's one of the reasons why we're doing the event next Tuesday, is so that we can go max out the pet. And with that maxed out pet, we will be able to go and get 17 star Darkstone, which will also be the first 17-star kingdom in the game. I also believe it's the first 16-star kingdom in the game, oddly enough. But yeah, star levels are starting to get high. They're not at 20 yet, but they're getting there. That also means Darkstone will be the easiest kingdom in the entire game to get upgraded, if you're looking for a really easy magic kingdom. Or just the easy upgrade kingdom in general. Oh, Sword Edge is 16? Oh, never mind. Okay, well, it's still going to be the first 17-star kingdom, nonetheless. Because I know for sure there's no 17 stars yet. Darkstone will be the first next Monday. Though for most people, it probably won't be until the following Tuesday. Because the only way you could have it done on that Monday is if you bought up that one Ninja Cat to Mythic, which I'm pretty sure most people didn't do. Or if you do All-Seeing Eye to 500 Pure Faction, which is required. It doesn't say that it's required. But based on the number of pets that are available in Darkstone, it is required to either have gotten the Ninja Cat all the way maxed, or to have level 2,500 Pure Faction, or, you know, a 500 Pure Faction, 2,500 max points on All-Seeing Eye. Those are the only two ways to have done it. And since almost no one bothered buying that pet up, I'm pretty sure people are just going to do the all-seeing eye method. It's actually cheaper doing the all-seeing eye method too. Buying that cat up to max could have potentially cost you a little over 2,000, whereas doing it for the event will cost you slightly less than 2,000, plus you get a bunch of other loot. Though it does take a lot longer, whereas just buying the cat would have given it instantly. I'll take that over. Hello, Jason. Welcome. That thing keeps glitching out every single time. That is pretty funny. I don't even think it's because of controller. I'm not even sure. I think it's just because we're winning so quickly. More so than if we're even using controller or not. The game can't keep up. How long does a faction up to level 500 take in a day? I believe it's around 12 hours if you do absolutely full completion. However, if you rush through it, you can get it done in probably like 4 to 5 hours. But if you do every single room in order to maximize your loot and to maximize leaderboard, it will take probably upwards of 12 hours or so, give or take a little bit. Yeah, depending on method, it's anywhere from like 4 to 13 hours or so. And I will be doing probably I initially will be trying to do every single room. If it seems like it's starting to get too tedious or something like that, we might just start skipping past them. But yeah, my intention, at least initially, is to do every single room, every single battle to full completion as we go in through to level 500 pure faction. However, that will probably change once we're like 5 hours in. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see. And the main reason for that is that's a really, really annoying faction. All-Seeing Eye is probably one of my least favorite factions. But we got to do it eventually, so. Yep, this kingdom will be 17 starable soon. Next Monday. We're getting 2 new Darkstone troops, bringing it to 17. Though it does require the pet, which is why we're doing pure faction on Tuesday. You really want to count out your average tribute level now? I don't. That's a lot of math. If you're talking about just average percent, I kind of actually know what that probably is off the top of my head. It should be around 35% if we're taking an average of what I currently have. It's like around 34, 35%. So I guess based on that, we can kind of figure out what the average tribute is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure 34% is where it would average with how I currently have my kingdoms upgraded. Did I say 37? I meant 34%. Let's see. You're only 11 levels away from level 1000. Very nice. Congrats. That is extremely close. Hello, Lori. Glad you could join us, and thank you. If anyone still has any other questions, let me know. Because, of course, the main goal of this stream is just to complete all the other challenges. And that should probably take another 2 hours, actually. We still have a lot of challenges to go. We only completed out like 3 or 4 kingdoms so far. But hey, free XP. A lot of free XP. Ridiculously good amount of XP. Level 52. We started Core 0 at like 48 at the beginning of the stream or something. It's already gained so many levels. Hopefully I'll gain 70 soon. Obviously not even remotely soon. Even at this quick rate, it's gonna take like 5 hours to get him maxed. So he's definitely not gonna be maxed yet. Because each 3 levels approximately are gonna take a hour. I can get slightly more than that done, but on average it's about 1 level every 3, based on where we're currently leveled. It's about 1 level every, it's 3 levels every 1 hour, I mean. And given that we need 18 more levels, that is potentially 6 hours. 2 of which we should be able to get done right now. If not more, depends how long it takes to get all challenges done. We're definitely not ending the stream until all challenges are done. That's like the only goal we had this entire stream. And we are not ending until it's done. Regardless of how long that takes. Shouldn't take too long though. Because we already did about 1/3 probably of how many we need to do. I just don't know how many kingdoms I haven't done it for. There's no way of knowing for sure. What is the advantage? Starting next patch, there's going to be a new challenge system, and the first set of 7 of the 10 sets are going to already be completed if you do them all now. The other reason for it is you actually gain more loot doing them now than if you were to do them later. The first set, that is. Especially if you do it on a higher difficulty like Hard, Warlord 1, Warlord 2, or something similar to that. Hello, Lilda. Welcome. Just note down what level a tribute chance upgrade can happen and use the list they gave you. Oh, would it be that easy to figure it out? I need to look into it later. It's not too important to know, though. All you really need to know is click tribute button more, gain more resource. It's really as simple as that. But of course, if we wanted to like plan out the average expected gains of a certain amount of time from taking a certain amount of clicks, we could end up figuring that out. Though honestly, I don't think we'd really need that info. Unless you really wanted to budget your gems down to like the exact 10 gems or something. Unless you were specifically budgeting your gems down that precisely, I wouldn't really bother with it. Which weapon am I currently using? It's an old event weapon. Celestial Staff. You can use literally any weapon there that isn't blocking Rowan. I just use that in case I need some split damage. This weapon most people probably don't have though. But as long as your weapon doesn't block Rowan, you're using a correct weapon. Just any yellow and or red weapon that, or really any color weapon that doesn't block her that does damage is perfectly fine. That's all you need to put there. The specific reason I'm using that is because it's a low enough mana cost and it synergizes with the split damage. And occasionally it can help clean up if we just have one enemy left or to kill out the last little bit of enemies. Like if a couple of them survive with a few HP, we just throw that down. It's not that big a change. That only makes a difference probably one every, I want to say, 300 battles, if even that. It's very, very rarely going to make any difference, specifically using that weapon compared to any damaging weapon. And yellow-red might even just be better in general, because if you're using like a small mana cost yellow-red, you'd end up accumulating mana by 2 different methods instead of 1. So it might even be better just to run a cheap yellow-red damaging weapon. Something around like a 12 to 14 mana cost, somewhere around there. Yeah, again, it doesn't really matter. The whole premise of this team is this hero there not blocking Rowan, just to shield her armor, followed by Rowan, Leprechaun, and Mirage Queen, with those two being required to be fully traded. And hero class can be literally anything, whatever you want to level. Why Rowan over Sunbird? For what we're currently doing, it has a higher initial damage, and that's the main reason we're doing it. There are instances where the Firebomb and the Sunbird for the higher extra turn chance is better. However, we're mainly doing it this way just because it quick kills these challenges a bit better. You normally only use the Sunbird Rowan one. I mean the Sunbird Firebomb one if you're planning on having to clean up troops. If you're doing a lot of battles where you're going to one-shot and not need to do anything after, then Rowan tends to be better. But if you have to do a battle where there's a chance where you might not get a kill, for example, 50% spell reduction, or the reviving trait, that 100% Drake, and stuff like that. In those instances, Sunbird Firebomb tends to be better. But if you can pretty much almost 100% consistently, or 100% consistently win a battle without anything not dying on the opposing team, Rowan is actually better into Leprechaun. Sunbird's just better at those instances where the battle goes bad, where you need to cast multiple times, because it cycles a lot quicker off its storm, whereas Rowan doesn't get a second cast up as quick. Also, if Rowan gets damaged within the time that you're trying to get its mana back, it could affect your amount of damage, whereas it will not affect Sunbird's amount of damage. Could I paste this team real quick? Sure. I can go paste it real quick. You're probably going to need to replace a different weapon there, though. But, yeah, here it is. There, use the team. For any of you that want to go use it. And you can replace that weapon with just about anything. Hello, Gustavo. Welcome. Oh, thank you, Earth Brown. That is greatly appreciated. Thanks for that. Someone mentioned it's more worth doing 34 out of 35 challenges now to get the bonus reward next patch. That probably is correct. You know what? That actually probably is correct. Though the amount of soul difference that's going to make is so trivial. But yes, you are correct. Currently, the final battle would give you about 300 and that many souls. Or at least that's how many I'm getting. It gives you 355 souls. However, the final set next patch, I believe, gives 500 souls. So you would actually get... Yeah, that actually is correct, whoever said that. Though I'm not going to bother. Because I'm not really doing these for the souls. More so just to have the progress already done. But yes, if you technically wanted to maximize loot as much as possible, you actually would stop one battle before completing them all at 34 out of 35. I believe it gives you a few hundred extra souls that way. And across all the kingdoms, that could theoretically give you thousands of extra souls. It's not really that big a deal, though. Thousands of souls is basically 0 resources. But yes, 34 out of 35 actually would give you slightly more. I'm not sure what the exact reward is for the first set, though. I believe it's 500 souls, though I'm not certain. And if it's a couple thousand souls, I guess it could make a bit of a difference. I could go check the beta, but that would take like 5-10 minutes to go check it. I could figure out that info, though, if we wanted to. I almost want to check now. I'm pretty sure that info is somewhere already. I would have to not show it on stream, though. But I could go check it. The only problem with that is it would take time to go download the thingy thing. Oh no, it's gonna lag. Let's see. That is kind of funny. I don't know, I'll go check it real quick. Okay, I guess we'll go check it real quick. Just for fun. This might take a few minutes, though. But I am actually kind of curious. Let me go check the beta. I can't show it on screen, though, unfortunately. I wish I could. This is already public knowledge, so I probably can go check it, so it's fine. I just don't know where it is publicly knowledge. I think they mentioned it at some point. I just forget what it is. But I'll go check it real quick. Let me just make sure I disable the visual. But yeah, we're just gonna have black screen for a little while. Hello, black screen. Let's see. Which one's the Gems of War one? There it is, Gems of War window. Let me go download the beta. I really wish I could show the beta. Let's see, how mad would Salty be if I show beta right now? No, just kidding, I'm not gonna do it. I wish I could, though. If I could, I would, like, literally right now. But let me go and just check it real quick. There's no unique audio, so just hearing the audio will be fine. Beta checking time. Okay, let me see how many souls it is for the first set. I believe it was 500. And if it is, it's not really worth bothering because it's only going to make like 150 soul difference or so. Okay, oops, is it showing up on screen? No, it shouldn't be. Okay, good. Shiny new logo, normal loading screens. They've shown the shiny new logo already through other places, though. A bunch of other stuff. Okay. What am I looking for here? I am looking for challenges, any that I haven't already done. Challenges. Yeah, it's only 500 souls. That's what I thought it was. Yeah, it's not worth it. You might as well just do them now. Yes, it is theoretically better. Okay, so it's exactly what I thought it was. But yeah, it's 500 souls for the first set. So yes, it is theoretically better to not do the final battle, to do 34 out of 35. However, it quite literally only makes like 100 to 200 soul difference. So I wouldn't really bother. You might as well just complete them out now. But yes, it makes a very, 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 very trivial difference. It is so minuscule that you might as well just do them now. Because at most, it's going to give you like 200 extra souls or so. So not really worth waiting just to get 200 souls per extra kingdom that you haven't done it for. Anyways, let me go change it back to the normal version of the game, get off the beta, and that'll take a minute to load. And then we'll go relaunch the game once it loads. Okay. But yeah, it's only 500 souls for the first set. So yes, theoretically it's better, but you might as well just do all of them now. Because that's a pretty trivial difference. Hello, Zeddicus! Welcome! Happy every day. Wait, happy Saturday. It's, you threw me off for a second. It's Friday. Wait, hold up. Well, I guess some time zones might be at Saturday right now. That really threw me off for a second. Okay, did it load yet? Okay, we loaded back the normal version of the game. Okay, this should be the normal version now. I hope so. That'd be a fail. Yeah, that should be the normal version. It's marked as such. It's using the old logo. And move that right over there. Okay. And we should be on normal version. Yeah, it is. Okay. We're back. But yeah, it's such a trivial amount of souls that we might as well just do the final battle. Yes, theoretically we gain like 100, 200 more next patch, but it's not really going to be worth it. That's going to be at most like a few thousand extra souls. I'd rather just have them done now and get the quick EXP off of them. Well, I guess you could get the quick EXP still for the final battle later, but yeah, I wouldn't really go out of your way just to specifically keep them at 34 out of 35. You might as well just finish them out. And there we go, another kingdom done. Okay, next set. Let's go do, I guess PlayerDaniels, which we partially already have done, actually. Yeah, Fridays do sometimes feel like Saturdays for me. Because Friday streams feel like Saturday streams, and Saturday streams make it feel like the weekend. Also, next patch, or not next patch, next stream tomorrow morning, we're probably grinding gold. Because I need to go and build up a lot of gold for next week's factions. Because how many pure factions we're going to be doing. We're going to be needing a lot of gold to go and upgrade the hordes, treasure hordes. We're probably going to burn through over 10 million gold in a week. Of course, we'll be getting a bunch of gold as well from doing delves, but we're going to burn through way more than we're going to gain. You got a mythic task on the 2 VIP keys? Oh yeah, that is the best adventure board you can ever get. The best adventure board that currently exists is, at least until next patch, is the 2 VIP key one, that one mythic one. It gives 2 VIP keys and 10 gem keys, which comes down at a low ball estimate of 180 gem worth of resources. And unlike some resources that are worth gems, those really are worth gems because they save you from having to throw gems at mythics and stuff like that. But yeah, it's 180 gems worth of keys, which is pretty decent. It has the highest gem value of any task ever. There's theoretically one task that will be better next patch, and it is the 6 mythic scroll tasks that we're going to be getting. And the main reason why those will be better, at least initially, is because they're required for kingdom upgrades. And those kingdom upgrades will probably be better to a lot of people, maybe not everyone, but to late game and end game people. Those scrolls are going to be more enticing, at least initially, than 180 gem worth of keys would be. But of course you have no choice on which one you end up getting. But yeah, as far as actual gem value, that task is probably always going to be the best. The VIP key related one. I've only gotten it twice so far. I've gotten 3 mythic tasks, but I've only specifically gotten the VIP key one twice. It's the best task in game as far as the gem value is concerned off adventure board. It's less than a 1% chance I believe that you can get it though. It's very rare. If you get it like once every 3 months, you're basically ahead of the curve. Though it is going to be uniform for everyone starting next patch. Adventure board, I was actually able to get them to do that. Finally. I don't know why they just didn't implement it to begin with. But we were able to get them to make Adventure Board uniform. So no longer will people get like random different RNG. It'll still be completely random RNG, but everyone will have the same random RNG now. So if someone gets a VIP key from their thing, every single person in the game will end up getting a VIP key off of their event thing, off the adventure board. The only one that's going to be different, I believe, is the top value. The one where it tells you if you just kill 100 things or 150 things. That one will be different for everyone. But the bottom 3 will be the same for everyone, starting next patch. Which is good, because now deeds will be balanced. So no one will get too far ahead on deeds, unless they buy them. They are going to have buy offers for them. I might even do that initially, I'm not sure. I feel tempted to, but probably won't. It depends how they price it. If they overly price it, I'm not going to bother. But if it's like reasonably priced in like a flash offer, I might consider it. It would actually be the first flash offer I ever bought, actually, if they do end up making it reasonable for them. Because I've never actually bought a flash offer yet on this account, or just even in general, I haven't. Mainly because we don't need to, because we have near infinite resources of everything. But deeds are going to be limited. 1 deed for your soul. I'm not sure what the pricing on deeds will be. We actually have not the slightest clue what the pricing on deeds will be. We won't really find out until probably a week or 2 after the patch, when they do the first flash offer or something for it. If I had to guess, each color deed would probably average around, I want to say 30 cents. Even that would be a little bit expensive, though. Hopefully it averages around 10 cents. Because I believe you need around 40 or so of them to get it from level 10 to 15. So if they were around 20 cents each, it would cost around $10 to max a kingdom. So hopefully it'll be around 10 cents each or so. What's a deed? Deeds are a new resource that are going to be added in version 4.4 in the next few weeks that are going to be used to upgrade kingdoms. It doesn't upgrade the kingdom power level, it upgrades the kingdom level itself. Specifically that number that's shown underneath, that's currently 10. That's going to be raised up to 15 next patch. And we'll be able to get a bunch of extra bonuses from it. Do keep in mind, all the bonuses that you get from it do not give you resources directly. All the bonuses are going to be doing other things. They give, I forget the exact order for them, but 2 of them are going to give 25% extra for your horde for the faction. So that's 50% total. So if you have a level 100 horde, it's basically like a level 150 horde at that point from the 50% extra bonus. And for example, a 200 horde would be like a 300 horde from the extra 50%. The two of the other ones will be, what's it called? It'll be extra team bonuses. So the team bonus from every single kingdom is going to be increased quite substantially starting next patch. And it'll be able to get it as high as 4 times higher than it is now. It's another team bonus that they're adding on top of every single kingdom. That basically just makes it slightly more enticing to run 2, 3, or 4 troops from a specific kingdom, as they'll just get more bonuses when you do so. That will not be relevant for most kingdoms, however, a few of them might be really good. Like, for example, Stormheim would probably get a really substantial increase from that, making giant teams even more viable than they already are. And other than that, the final one at level 15 ends up giving +1 stat. And obviously that stat correlates to whatever is already from the kingdom. So something like a Darkstone would end up giving purple, or I mean, magic, I mean. And there's 6 different colors and 1 Imperial one. Every single kingdom will use the Imperials for the higher level ones, kind of like how Celestial Trait Stones work. And each kingdom will primarily, or only use 1 single color. So for example, I believe Darkstone uses something like purple, for example, whereas Stormheim would probably use something like blue, and so on and so forth. So basically how you want to do it is you want to pinpoint the 6 best kingdoms, 1 of each color, and then max those out, and then go do that kingdom by kingdom. 1 color at a time. I believe the color that they require is based on the mastery of the kingdom. So I guess we kind of already know what they are, because I believe that's the case in 100% of instances, is that it just correlates to whatever the mastery is of the kingdom. So for example, White Helm being yellow obviously will require yellow then for the deed, specific color that it requires to upgrade it. Yeah, giant teams are going to be really funny next patch. They are really consistently going to have over 100 HP. They already are consistently over 100 HP, but they're going to be even more so next patch. It's going to be really funny to see how that pans out. 4 times Giants from Stormheim is going to be by far the tankiest base stats in the game. It already is, and it's going to be even bigger next patch. The only thing it needs is a faction that has Giants. If we ever get that for Stormheim, that team is just going to be so ridiculously high on stats. In the current state of the game, if that existed next patch, that would be over 150 starting HP most likely. And we don't even have a Giant pet yet either, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's not a Giant pet. It's, wait, which one is it? Yeah, we don't have a Giant bonus, if I'm not mistaken. Because we have a Stormheim bonus. I believe we still don't have a Giant bonus, which would make it even higher on top of that as well. Once that finally rolls around. Are these deed shop items as well? Or more like Tower of Doom scrolls? They are not going to be buyable in that way. I believe they're only going to be buyable through flash offers. You're going to be able to accumulate them over time for free from Adventure Board. And those will just trickle in automatically through there. And the only other way that you'll be able to get them, I believe, is flash offers if you want to buy them occasionally. But a good majority of players are going to obtain all of them, most likely just from doing Adventure Board. And just slowly trickle into the game over time. And based on what they said, it's probably going to take about a year or so to max out all of them in the current state of the game. But yeah, there's not going to be any way to specifically farm them, which is somewhat unfortunate. I tried getting them to do that as well. I tried getting them to like add it to Explore or something similar to that. But I wasn't able to get that. But at least I was able to get the Adventure Board fix, which was the more important one. I'll go get that killed. It's going to kind of be like how seals were, in a way. Where you get them at a cap per week. And if you wanted to, you could buy a little bit extra. They're basically how like guild seals were when they initially came out. Where you just do a little something and you end up getting them. And in this case, all you have to do for your little something is the Adventure Board. But yeah, the system is extremely similar to how seals were initially when they were first released. Guild seals. Of course, now there's multiple methods to gain guild seals, and the same might happen to deeds into the future. Initially, they're not releasing like that, though. Adventure Board and money is the only two ways. And I don't believe you can infinitely buy them. For example, I don't believe you're just going to be able to instantly max them with money. So if you want to throw a bunch of money at it to max them, you won't be able to do that. It'll only speed up the process of maxing them. I'm pretty sure they will not allow an infinite buy option for it. And the main reason for that is that would be pay to win. Because you could quite literally just buy up all the stats. I actually hope they don't end up doing that. From what I could tell, it seems to only be flash offers and Adventure Board. Yeah, I don't believe there's going to be an infinite buy method for it. There shouldn't be. Because that actually would be slightly pay to win if they did. Because that would allow you to gain quite a bit of stats just by throwing money at the game. But it should only be flash offers. Which obviously still be buyable, but it won't be infinitely buyable. On average, you'd get 2,700 gems per month. That sounds about right. I'm not even sure what my average is. I want to say it's around 3,000. Might be a little bit higher. It really, again, just depends how many times I'm taking tribute. Some days I might only take it like a few times. Other days I might take it like 12 plus times. Really just depends what I'm doing on a given day. You still think they do more classes for each kingdom? No, I don't think they're going to do multiple classes for each kingdom. Though I do feel like they're going to expand the hero class system. So that there's more grind to it. However, I don't think they're going to add more classes than what already exists. They are going to rebalance most of the classes though soon. Probably once they get close to having almost every single hero class in the game. So within the next few months. They're probably going to do a complete overhaul of rebalancing hero classes. They already made some mention of it. But it is likely to occur. It's probably going to happen early next year, like January update. The first update of next year will probably do it, though no official date has been given. But that would probably be the most probable time for it. And then at that point, they would probably expand out the hero class system as well. They made mention of that. What specifically they might do for that, we don't know. I do want to try getting the class grind done, hopefully within the next month or two. Still got a ways to go, though. We still have a little over 100 hours of grind across all classes. Though, of course, we could go buy up the next few classes to speed it up a little bit. I didn't buy anything into this most recent class, but next class or two I might, just so we can actually get it completed. And then we don't really need to worry about classes as much, then we could focus them down one at a time, and then simply use whatever we want for various teams. Which will feel good to finally be able to do that again. Like, the whole last year, you kind of had to get shuffled into just leveling up classes. But once you finally get them all done, you can just use whatever you want. And you don't really get penalized. Well, you don't technically get penalized now, but it seems like a bit of a waste when you're using a hero class that's gaining no EXP, when you could be using one that does gain EXP. Even if it's slightly weaker, it's normally worth it just for the free EXP. Kind of like right now. This hero class is slightly weaker for what we're doing. However, we gain free XP. Can you stop reviving? Oh, we are in that kingdom. Never mind. We're in the kingdom that has like him spammed like crazy. That's actually going to be happening a lot. It's probably going to be the most annoying one because of all of his revives. He's going to have it every single time. It's super annoying. And we probably have to deal with him another one or two times throughout this kingdom as well. Luckily, this is the only kingdom that should have it like this. None of the other kingdoms should have him randomly. The only problem is he's going to be spammed in probably like 3 of these battles, if not more. Come on, let me cast. Oh, that wasn't aligned. Whoops, I thought that was. Didn't get the drop. What on earth is this battle? There we go. Yeah, Warden, they are planning on buffing. But, yeah, Warden became really good when Truffle came out. There's quite a few things in this game that over time, they're like completely useless. And then some troop randomly comes in, and that just makes a ridiculously broken strategy for them. That has happened a lot in the history of this game. Where something is near useless initially, and then it just becomes ridiculously good. Because of some kind of synergy that ends up being developed by new troops that come into the game. Oh, please never get your final trait. I think he starts getting after this first battle. And he's going to start revive spamming us. Luckily, this is the last time I'll have to deal with this. For now. Yep, he gets his trait. No! Don't do that. So annoying. Now let's go split damage, kill him. Throw a poke, get her destroy again. Can we get a little bit of mana? There we go. Oh yeah, we'll be handing out a code soon. We'll probably hand it out at the end of next kingdom. Not this one, but the next one. Yeah, of course we'll have a code. Because I believe this is about the halfway point. I'm not even sure where the halfway point would be. This is one of the reasons why I didn't hand it out yet. I was going to do it at halfway point, but I honestly have not the slightest clue where the halfway point is. And soon we never have to deal with him. Oh gosh, a double revive, really? If one wasn't bad enough, here's 2. I'm gonna do this. Oh, I should take a red first. Whoops. Whoops. Oh, well, let's poke it down and then he's dead. Okay, there we go. Good to go. And I believe just 2 more battles I have to deal with this thing. Yeah, Salty if they could add more talent to classes. And she acted like I was crazy and would break the game. No, I don't think more classes to, or more talents to classes would necessarily break the game. Though I think it would be better to rebalance what already exists rather than adding more. But, I don't know, it wouldn't be too game-breaking for most classes. It depends what they are. If they're as useless as the current level 100 are, on most of them, it's not going to be that game-breaking. But again, it just depends on what they are, specifically. Yeah, Hero already is pretty good, though. They did make Hero really, really good over the last year. Okay, let's see. Shentang, let's go finish out this one. Then we'll hand out code. And then we still probably have like 6 delves to do, or 6 challenges to do. 5 or 6, I'm not sure how many. Find out as we keep moving around. Yes, currently the flash offer right now is tied at the best offer they've ever had. Actually, that offer in general is the best offer they've ever done. This is the second time they've ever done it. But yes, if you were to spend money on this game, that actually is pretty decent to go for. I personally won't be, but it's the best flash offer they've ever offered before. Not sure why they're doing it now. I guess because it's a dead weekend where we don't have anything going on, so they figured why not. But yeah, it's a pretty good offer. I won't be going for it, though. I might go for the scrolls, though, the deeds, when they start adding them next patch. For some of the flash offers, at least initially. So we can get all of our kingdoms to level 15. Or at least, like, show a set of them. To just show how it works on a video. Because for the amount of money that one video makes, if the flash offer is only about, like, $5 or $10, the video is probably going to make the money back anyway, so not as big a deal. Yep, can move forward. The second best gem offer, the best offer normally, is the 15 gem a day for 15 days. Actually, the 15 gem a day for 15 days is actually pointless these days. And the main reason for that is because of all the flash offers they keep doing. It at one point was a really good offer. However, given that they keep doing flash offers every like week, it seems like, there is no point in ever buying the daily gems anymore. Not only does it have a delay in when you get the gems, it's also generally less gems than some of the packs. Plus, the packs give you extra rewards on top of that aren't necessarily gems, like emojis, vault keys, or whatever else they might have on a given week. But honestly, I would never buy daily gems anymore. Well, I've never bought it on any account ever, but even though it was a decent value in the past. But it's not anymore because flash offers are always better than them. And while there might not necessarily always be a flash offer up, if you just wait a week, there's just bound to be one randomly at some point. What is the actual benefit of completing the challenges before the patch? You can farm more EXP off of them for quick battles. You can gain more souls off of them doing them now. Also, if you already have them completed next patch, you'll have the first set of 10 completed. Whereas if you didn't, you would have to go and complete that first set of 7. Or sorry, the first set of 7. There's 10 sets of 7. But the first set of 7 would already be completed if you do it for every single kingdom already. Or for any kingdoms that you already completed it for. So it saves some time for next patch. You gain more souls. You can quick kill them for free XP on classes. And those are all the main reasons for doing them. I would advise doing it for every single kingdom. And just farm some hero class that you want to level while doing it. Whichever one you want to go get upgraded. Obviously right now we're just using the most recent Corsair class. Also do it on a higher difficulty if you can one-shot it. You should do it on the highest difficulty that you can one-shot the enemy team. Which realistically is Warlord 1 or Warlord 2. Depends what your stats are. Will rework challenges stay at 1 XP or raise to 2? I believe they're going to raise to 2, though I have no clue. And the reason why I believe they're being raised to 2 is instead of having to do 5 battles per thing, you only have to do 1 battle per thing. So even though it's 7 battles, or, you know, 7 little battles in each set of 10, or there's 10 sets, 7 battles in each. However, each battle you only do once, whereas currently you do the battles 5 times. So yes, I believe it is 2 EXP, though I honestly did not double check. But I assume it's 2 EXP, given that it's limited, and given that you're only doing 1 battle instead of 5 now, per thing. So right now you theoretically have 35 battles per set, whereas next patch you're only going to have 7 per set. What would you say would be best challenge team if you wanted souls and had 2 Fair Shras? You just run Dragon Soul. Dragon Soul, double Fair Shra, Umberwolf. Or if you wanted to speed it up, instead of Umberwolf, maybe go like Leprechaun or something. You could also use Hero there with Purple Storm if you want to still gain class XP for it. But yeah, just running Dragon Soul and spamming it. The only problem is Dragon Soul takes a little while to get his mana up. And you might want to have an option to feed it, just so it goes a little bit quicker. What is this link of which you post? What do we have here? What info is this? Let's see. You're also grumpy. You almost don't want to tell you that the 4.5 challenges will now give 2 EXP. Yeah. So even though they're 2 EXP each, they're theoretically less EXP. Right now, they're 5 EXP compared to being 2 EXP now. Obviously, though, the speed at which they get done is different. But, yeah. That isn't actually technically more EXP, even though it is more EXP. Because while it might be 2 EXP per battle, there's less battles. Also, the battles start getting a lot more difficult as you go further. Well, at least it's been confirmed now that it is 2 EXP. That makes sense, because they're limited, and some of the battles take a long while. Like, once you start getting to the 8th tier, the 9th tier, and the 10th tier, unless you're using, like, a Devour spam team or something like that, they are going to take a while to kill. I believe the final area has, like, 200 base stats or something, or a little bit higher than that. They go pretty high. They're definitely not low, but you can easily kill it with Mang, Devour, Instant Kill, Death Mark, anything like that. Any of those mechanics. Well, at least we have confirmation on it. Yeah, currently the first set gives 35 EXP, whereas next patch will only give 14 EXP. So yeah, you're theoretically getting like more than twice right now. Though those 7 battles would be able to be completed in the same time that we could complete out 7 battles now. I don't know, it depends how you look at it. I would still do them now, though. There's so many more benefits to doing them now that might as well do them now. Or at least before next patch. You don't have to do them literally now, obviously. But we don't know what next patch is. Could be Monday for all we know. Though it's very unlikely that it is, but you never know. No, in theory, we're not really gaining or losing any. You could theoretically gain EXP at a slightly quicker rate next patch for a little duration. However, the amount of time that you can put into it is a lot less next patch. Because you'd only be able to do 7 battles per kingdom instead of 35. And while those 7 battles will give you 14, those 35 battles will give you 35 EXP. Well, the first set of them will be pretty quick too. Like the first 7 battles that you would have if you happen to have not done challenges for whatever reason, though I do advise doing them, but for whatever reason you didn't, the initial battles are just as weak as these. Actually, probably even weaker than what we're facing right now. I believe the final one only goes up to level 11. So that's like as hard as it is at like 2-star or 3-star. I think 3-star actually is around where they would be for like the first set. But again, you might as well just do them now. It definitely, the benefits of doing them now definitely outweighs the benefits of doing them later. Good morning, Isabel. Welcome. Also, as I mentioned, at the end of this kingdom, we will hand out a redeem code, and then finish out the rest of them. However many that is. I have no clue how many it is at this point. I believe we're a little bit past the halfway point. I'm not sure. We'll find out. Are there any troop restrictions in the new challenges? No. There is absolutely no troop restrictions. You can use whatever you want. Nope. You can use absolutely anything you want. There is no restriction whatsoever as far as what you can use for it. The easiest way to kill it out would be either Mang Skull Spam or Devour Spam. Are your two main ways that you'd most likely want to do it. Though, of course, anything that can instantly kill stuff is going to work. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead on the code. And then just keep continuing with these. Let me X out of that. Go to the code section. Mark down the next code. Edit. Mark it. Let's see. Mark that down. Mark it. Copy. Save all of that. Save it. Put that right over here. Put that right there. Put that there. Put that there. Put that there. Oops, I added an extra space. Don't do that. Put that there. Refresh. Paste that over there. Put that all the way at the beginning. Paste. Space. Copy. And there you guys go. There's the redeem code. Use it on gemsofwar.com underneath the game code section. Your invite code can be found in your settings menu. Whatever your game says right over there is what you put in. Redeem code is right over there in chat. Just copy paste the random numbers and letters. And give same reward as always. 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, and 2,500 gold. Enjoy, everyone. And it's only usable on PC mobile version. Console versions cannot use it. Also, that flash offer is actually decent. The best they've ever offered so far. We're tied for the best. Tied with itself. It's tied with itself for the best. Okay, well, let's go head over here. Let's go do Wild Plains, then Blackhawk, and keep moving around till we get them all done. Yeah, I believe we're a little bit past the halfway point. Because you have to keep in mind, more than half the kingdoms I do already have it done for. Because the first 15 kingdoms that were ever introduced to the game, I believe I have it done for. However, I believe every kingdom after the 17th or 18th kingdom I didn't do it for. With the exception of Sinner Mirage, because Sinner Mirage was at 5-star, so I had to do it for 6-star. I believe Drakzoom I had to do it too. Even though it's a slightly more recent kingdom, it was so recent that it wasn't 6-starable prior to the change. So I had to already do the challenges. Yep, no problem, everyone. Enjoy. And if anyone still has any other questions or anything you want me to go over, let me know. I'll be streaming for about another hour. However long it takes to get all challenges done is how long we're going for. And luckily we're gaining quite a bit of hero XP too. Not even just the classic XP, but our hero is about to gain level 1,471. Let's see, how's our thingy going? What level are we at? 54. Making progress. Still a bit to go until we reach 70, but it's getting there. It's almost within a 5-hour range of reaching it. That's getting close. Why would we complete all challenges before the patch? Mainly because it would end up giving you more resources now than it would after the patch. It would also make you one step ahead of completing out all the challenges next patch. There's 10 sets of 7, and the first set of 7 will be completed if you already did it before the patch. But yeah, I advise completing out all challenges prior to next patch. It doesn't take that long. Even if you had to do literally every single kingdom, I think it would take 5 hours. And that might sound like a lot of time, but you have all the way until next patch. And while it could be next week, it's most likely weeks from now, so I'm just doing it now just in case it is next week. It probably isn't, but yeah, getting it done this weekend just in case is advised, if you have the time. When is next patch expected? There's no exact time for it. It could be next week, it could be 3 weeks from now. It's we have no official date. It's most likely early to mid-September, but we have no official date on when it is. Okay, I'll grab an explosion there. Get the kill. But yeah, I believe it's already completed. They are just sent it out. They're just waiting until it processes through all the platforms. And that could take a while sometimes, or it can go very quick. Depends how, if it gets lucky or not. Normally Apple takes the longest, I believe, to approve it. If this game was only released on Steam, they could probably cycle it so quickly. Because I believe Steam has the easiest approval process of anything that they're currently released on. Between Android, Apple, Steam, the console versions, I believe the absolute easiest for them to process is Steam. Because I don't think there's any process they really even need to go for Steam. If I'm not mistaken, you can literally just update it and not need to worry about any process at all. You just literally update it and you're good to go. I'm not sure if it's exactly that easy. But I know, if I had to guess, it's the absolute easiest to do it on Steam relative to anything that they're released on. How come you still have challenge left out? Aren't they required for leveling up kingdoms? Yes, they are. However, way back, like about 2 years ago, under the previous star system, if you already had the kingdom to 6+ stars, it rolled over into the following patch, and almost all of my kingdoms were already 6+ stars, so I did not need to do the challenges on a good majority of my kingdoms. But yes, technically right now, it is required to 6-star any kingdom to complete out all challenges, so a lot of people probably already have the challenges done because of that. However, due to the rollover of stars in the past, it was possible for quite a while to have 6-star plus kingdoms without ever actually doing the challenges. It's one of the reasons why I actually deliberately didn't do them, just because it was fun to not have challenges completed, since there were very few people that had 6+ stars while also simultaneously not having them done. But starting next patch, that won't matter, so we're just doing them now. For all the free souls. Hello, Ovdemon. Welcome. But I believe we have about 4 more kingdoms to go, if I had to guess. Probably about 4 or 5. Oh yeah, I need to go check how many souls we had at the beginning of the stream. I want to see how much we actually gained from doing this for like 2 hours straight. Actually, it might be a little bit more than 2 hours. I'll need to go check what right at the beginning of the stream and see what our total is. And then compare it to what our final value is. If I had to guess, it's probably not that much. I'd probably guess around... Oh, I don't want to like over-guess it. I want to say 20 or 30,000 souls. Which is pretty low for 2.5 hours of grinding. It's actually way below average. Even like average soul farming teams farm at upwards of 20,000 per hour. And better ones can go as high as like 40, 50, even 60,000 in some cases per hour. Haha, you have all of your things at 5 stars. You're making a funny joke. I see what you did there. That's not the star level I was referring to, obviously. I was referring to the kingdom stars, not the challenge stars. I know you're just joking, though. You normally do challenges with a soul farm team? Yes. Generally, that is how you do it. However, I have no need for souls. Obviously, we're still doing these to gain some souls. But the main reason I'm doing these, more so than anything... Well, there's 2 main reasons why I'm doing this. Souls is just a byproduct of what we're currently doing. But yes, if you're earlier on in the game, you probably would do it while doing it with souls, because you still need souls for stuff. However, I'm not doing these because of the souls. Obviously, we do get them. But and I'm doing it at a higher difficulty just to maximize it a little bit more and to gain more hero XP. But the main reason I'm doing this is 2 reasons. One is so we can be 1 step ahead when next patch comes, because we're already going to take over like probably 20 hours of grinding in order to complete out all challenges next patch, and this will make it so we have a few less hours of grinding to do by doing all these now. And the other reason is free class XP. This is insanely quick class XP. We've gained like 6 levels on this thing already during this stream, and it just keeps going higher. Actually 7 levels. I believe we started at 48 on that. But those are the 2 main reasons. To save time out of next patch and to gain XP for hero. Souls are just a byproduct of what we're doing right now. Obviously I don't need them, given that we have a stack of like 7 million. And they haven't really added a proper soul sync. You're supposed to one-shot, what are you doing? They accidentally raised the difficulty or something? Why are they not dying to one-shot? Let's see. I'll take that over. Come on, just give us the last little bit of mana. Stop delaying the inevitable. Seriously, one more shot. There we go. See you, Supplement. Have a good day. Catch you later. Have a good weekend. Do we have a drop for that? Not really. I might as well just go for Explosion. Get up. Kill it. Dead. Grab another one. Will one of the new tier challenges give more souls? Not sure what all the tier rewards are. I know some give keys, some give chaos shards. I believe one gives glory. I believe one might give gold. But yeah, I honestly don't remember what the 10 tiers are. I know the first one is souls, and I know the last one is chaos shards. What the other 8 are in between, I forget off the top of my head. There might be another soul one. I know for sure the first set is, obviously. Not sure if there's a second set that does. I don't believe there is. I think the list for it might be somewheres. I forget if they were supposed to underscore the thread somewheres, what the list is for it. I'll find out next patch. You don't have Ferris Ra yet, but you have Dragon Soul. So what's a good team to use? Dragon Soul, Azurus, Umberwolf, Dragon Soul, Azurus, any hero class with Purple Storm. Or Dragon Soul, anything with Necromancy, and anything with Purple or Red Storm. Would be your team. Any of those 3 compositions is what you would end up using. Okay, next order business. Blackhawk. Let's go and do these. 1 set already done. Do the other 6 sets. Grab all of our explosion there. Get a nice split on him. If it'll let me cast. That is what you use. The only slightly annoying thing about these code things is I have no clue what that team is now. We need to go check it real quick. We'll go check it in a second. The only really annoying thing about the copy-paste things is by looking at the numbers, there's almost no way to tell what on earth it is. Unless you just memorize them all, which I highly doubt anyone's going to bother doing. Let's see. What is this team? Manage, paste. No, that's going to be too slow. Unless you're running this for PvP. But if you're just running this for challenges and explore, it's Dragon Soul, any Necromancy, and any Red or Purple Storm. Either off a hero or off of a troop. But yeah, that's going to be a little bit too slow. Unless you're running it for PvP. For PvP, that'd probably be fine. But if you're running this for challenges or explore, that's going to be slower compared to other options. Okay, what am I looking for? Oh yeah, Blackhawk. Let's keep going. Back there, fight. What's your faction team for Amethrax? Pure faction? I assume you mean pure faction, right? Well, yeah, I guess that's what faction means, right? Oh, duh. Also, why am I using this team? Whoops. Retreat. Wait, there's not a gnome there, right? But you know what? I'm just gonna win it normally. There we go. Kill it that way. That's a weird way of winning. I'll take it. But anyways, Amethrax Pure Faction is quite literally just running 4 of the gnome. Or not the gnome, what's his name? Running 4 of the, wow, what's his name now? I forgot. Running 4, Gob Truffle. That's all you need. Just run 4 of them. Especially if you have potions in play. Even without potions, it would still be what you would do. You get the full mana on the first 2, then you start spamming like crazy. And if you add enchant, the other 2 will also get up naturally. But yeah, you get, regardless, you get the mana up on the first 2, and then you start casting them. And you just try getting infinite loop off of him. It might seem weird, but yeah, you quite literally just run 4 of him. You don't need to do anything special. He's so strong that you just spam him. You just spam 4 of them, get full mana on 2 of them, and then you just win by cast spamming it until you win. And that's normally enough to infinite loop. Especially if you can get 3 or 4 of them up. Enchant helps out a lot. But even if you're doing it without enchant, it would still be possible. You just have to get luckier, because you need to get a really good quick start. Because getting 32 mana can take a while, or not 32, 34 mana. Let's see. One of the new tier challenges give more. Oh wait, never mind. I already answered that. Does anyone here play with hints disabled? Was thinking about trying it for a while. I actually do not ever play with hints disabled, and the main reason for that is for my sanity, in case I can't find one move. I normally don't take whatever the suggested move is. It's also a good check just to double check for extra turns, just in case. Yeah, I haven't played with hints off for ages. I normally do my move before the hints ever show. But, I don't know, it's a nice utility to have in case you ever just need it. But most of my moves are obviously done way before the thing ever triggers. Why finish the challenges before the patch? Gosh, how many times have we entered at this thing? I don't mind entering it multiple times though. Someone should go back and keep track. I think we've answered it like 20 times. I don't mind though. But anyways, the reason we're doing the factions right now, or I mean the challenges right now, is because the loot for doing them now is going to be better than the loot for doing them next patch. It'll also make us one step ahead of next patch because there's going to be 10 sets of 7 challenges. And the first 7 will be completed if we already completed out all the challenges prior for each kingdom. That's why we're doing them right now. And also because it's free class XP, free souls, and free hero XP in general. But yeah, it's mainly for the class XP and to get it one step ahead of next patch. Because we're getting a couple hours of grind done now, so we don't need to do it later. Because next patch will be bringing in about 20 hours worth of challenges. And right now we're just chipping a few hours off of it by doing all of the base level ones. Actually, it might even be more than 20 hours. But then again, maybe not. Because you only have to do 7 battles per set. Whereas right now we're technically doing 35 per set. Since we have to do each one 5 times. Even though there's 7, we do each one 5 times. So I guess actually, yeah, it probably is closer to 20 hours. I did the math on it earlier, so 20 hours is probably correct. Though give or take, it depends how difficult the other ones are. Also, if you don't have high upscaling options, it might be a bit slower. So you could always just use Mang Skull Spam for it, if you had no other option. For when the later challenges come in next patch, the really high level ones. Yeah, it is advised doing it before next patch. You still have time, though. There's a good chance next patch isn't for a couple weeks. But just in case it is next week, I'm doing them now. There's a good chance it's not next week, but you never know. For all we know, it could be next Monday or Tuesday. It's very unlikely, but it can happen. Is Warden a good class and worth upgrading? No, and kind of. It's a really horrible class. However, it recently did get one good team synergy, and that is with Gob Truffle. In a team composition similar to that of Forest Troll, Double Gob Truffle, and Hero. In that composition, it is actually best to use Warden. It is the only team, pretty much the only team in the entire game, where Warden is the most viable option for a team. Mainly because it has Green Storm plus Dispel, and it is the only hero class in the entire game that has that combo. But aside from that, and occasional Beast teams here or there, it's not really used for anything. And the Beast teams that it's used for are not meta, they're just for fun, for the most part. There isn't a single Beast team that it gets used for that's actually meta, so... The only thing that's really meta for it is the Truffle team. That's it. But yeah, it's not worth upgrading. They are probably buffing all the older hero classes in the near future, though. But, yeah, you really only need it for Truffle team. However, to fully optimize it for Truffle team, you do need it to be level 70. But if you're not really running the Truffle team that often, it's probably not really worth getting Warden up. Might as well focus on other better hero classes. Ooh, Glory Gnome. Please drop 1,000 Glory or a Vault Key. Come on, 1,000 Glory. You know you want to. So why didn't that kill? What do I take here? Let's take that for now. Slowing us down. Okay, I'll take that and hopefully get a follow-up. Yeah, there we go, never mind. Grab the skull right over there. 500 glory, I'll take it. Hey, we got more glory than souls. That's funny. That works. Okay, let's go take this over here. What is the, what is the order of upgrading classes then? Titan, Thief, Plague Lord, and then you have like a billion options depending on what you want to go for. I feel like those are the main three you go for. Titan, because it's the best hero class in the entire game overall. There are some things that it doesn't do as well. However, if you just based on overall value, it is the best hero class in the game by a pretty large margin, even though it can't do some specific things. Next is Thief, because it's the best stealthy hero class in the game. It also gives you Skeleton Key, which is a really important weapon. And Plague Lord is somewhat similar. It's like a magic-based version of, or a magic protection version of Titan that's safer against cast-related teams because of its spell reduction and disease that it has. It still has barrier spam, but the other reason is for the essence of evil that it gives. But yeah, those are the first three hero classes in that order. Titan, Titan Thief, and then Orb Weaver. Titan Thief and then Plague Lord. And from there, you really just do it based on whatever you feel like using. It really just depends what kind of teams you want to build around. If you want to build really weird skull spam teams, you could go Assassin. If you want to build like Divine teams, you could go Priests. If you wanted a bunch of blue mana, you could go Corsair. It really just depends what direction you want to go from there, because they all have different utilities for different purposes. But those, I would say, are always the first three. I would say are the big three. Titan first, Thief second, Plague Lord third. And from there, it's basically based on what utilities you want. Sorcerer is pretty bad in the current state of the game. It at one point was the best hero class. Currently, it is not, though. It's actually below average. Actually, it's probably one of the worst few, I would say, even. The only really good thing it has is +1 purple off of its very first trait. It's kind of weird. It still has the best first trait of any hero class. But other than that, it has, like, nothing good go for it. Thank you, Zab Zab. Much appreciated. If anyone else has any questions, let me know. I believe we only have a few more kingdoms left as well. We're getting there. It's so close. How's our Corsair doing, by the way? Just mentioning him. We're just talking about classes. How's our class doing? Level 55, so he should almost be 56 then. We got another 5 hours until he's maxed. Or not maxed, but level 70, which is only halfway to maxed. 5 hours until the halfway point. What a grind. Yeah, I can't wait till we have all hero classes maxed and just have them done. So we can actually just pick whatever most optimal hero class is for stuff instead of having to level them. I know a lot of teams it doesn't matter. Like, obviously this team it doesn't really matter. But for like PvP and stuff, it always feels weird. It's like, okay, do I want to go and use a worse hero class in order to gain EXP for it? Or do I actually just play a proper hero class? And normally I just feel obligated to have to do a hero class that's a little bit less effective, but one that actually gives us EXP. Oh yeah, we're 100% getting it upgraded before Guild Wars. That is 100% happening before Guild Wars. We have until next Tuesday. But yeah, I'm 100% getting this to level 70. Ideally by this weekend, so I can finally go show a video for it. Because I will be mentioning it in the context of Blue Guild War. And been wanting to get to level 70 before I cover the video. I was going to do it earlier, but I was like, the whole premise of it is for +3 green, or blue. Like, if you're using this thing, you need it with +3 blue. So I ended up not covering it, since we covered it some on stream. But I will be covering the video for it as soon as we get this thing to level 70. Going over Guild War teams to use with it, as well as just teams in general. Because +3 blue is pretty big. There's currently no troop in the entire game that has +3. And that's one of the other reasons why I wanted to get the +3, to actually see how +3 behaves. Because we currently have no option for +3. This is the only thing in the entire game that has a +3 option. Nothing else currently has it. So I don't actually know how it interacts. Obviously, it'd be pretty similar to a +2, but still want to see it in action specifically. How it goes. Because, yeah, that's 4 mana just off of 1 troop. Between Banner and the troop. Or not 4 mana, 5 mana, I mean. Just off of 1 troop. That is insanely high. a +5 off of just banner plus 1 troop. You finished leveling your core 0 yesterday? Nice. Yeah, I haven't been power grinding mine yet. We were finishing out Puzzle Quest. Haha. Yeah, we did finish Puzzle Quest. We started it and finished it within like a week. 3 streams. I'm actually surprised how quick it went. Like, I knew the game was around that long, but we were really underestimate. I believe it took us around 21 or 22 hours. Estimate for the game, without doing any of the side stuff, was like 30-something hours. Yeah, we did almost all the side stuff, and still completed it in like 21, 22 hours, on hard mode as well. Also, that green dragon fight was so much fun. I just wish there was more fights like that in that game. That was really like the only really good battle, I would have to say. Which is somewhat disappointing. I was hoping that there would be more than that. Puzzle Quest 1 definitely had a lot more challenging battles, where it was like extremely close and not just a complete easy wipe. Yeah, I believe JGG's already completed with all the class leveling. The only ones he has to ever do, I believe, are the whatever new ones come out. Pretty sure he did. I'm still about 100 hours away if we were to go complete out all of them, which is obviously a lot of time. I should be chipping at it a little bit more than I am. Otherwise, the number's not really going to go down. But we can also try using gems for that purpose, which I might start doing a little bit more. While it's a waste of gems, it'll make it so we don't have to worry and waste like hours upon hours upon hours. The only time it's really worth wasting that much time on it is during Vault events. When it's not Vault events, it's not as worth doing. You get to see your videos on Puzzle Quest. Is it a good game? Yes, it's a decent game. It's an old game. It's like a decade old at this point. Definitely hope they make Puzzle Quest 3. Personally, Puzzle Quest 1 I would say is better than Puzzle Quest 2. I've streamed Puzzle Quest 1 in its entirety twice on this channel. And we just finished doing Puzzle Quest 2 yesterday. But, yeah, it's fun. It's definitely a fun game. It's definitely something I would say to check out. It's made by the same developers of Gems of War. The only problem is getting your hands on a copy is a little bit annoying these days. I believe the easiest way to get a copy of it would, oddly enough, be the DS version of it, if I'm not mistaken. Because you can't get it on Steam. I don't think you can get it on mobile, if it was before. Because I don't think it's sold there anymore. So yeah, physical copy is like the only way you can really get it easily, I believe, right now. Because even though we were playing the Steam version, it's not available anymore. You can still play it if you already own it, but if you don't already own it, I don't believe there's any way to get it. Unless you somehow find a person that has a key for it. The biggest issue Puzzle Quest 2 has is mainly its pacing, I feel like. It's really linear and has a really bad pacing. It's still fun, it just has bad pacing. Puzzle Quest 1 had really good pacing and had a lot of versatility as far as where you can move. It also had more minigames. I believe Puzzle Quest had around 6 minigames, if I'm not mistaken. Whereas, I guess you could theoretically say Puzzle Quest 2 actually has more than that. But you actually spent more time in Puzzle Quest 2's minigames. Like, for example, probably one of the bigger ones being the forging one, where you could forge different combinations of weapons and have so many different versatilities as far as how many you could make. I think there was quite literally like hundreds of combinations that you could end up making with all the little affixes and everything that you had. Whereas it was quite linear how everything worked in Puzzle Quest 2. The storyline was linear, the battles kind of went the exact same way, and even the way you upgrade weapons every single time followed the same path, where it was a lot more creative in the first Puzzle Quest game. And you had a lot more customization options for it. Ooh, 4 gem keys. That's his best drop that isn't Vault key. Unless you count 3 event keys. Technically, 3 event keys has a higher gem value than 4 gem keys. However, I do not need event keys. I did not need any event keys. I would trade my event keys 1-to-1 for gem keys if we could. Because I need gem keys way more than I need event keys. Even though event keys cost more. Oh, is it actually in the Microsoft Store for Xbox? Interesting. That might be one way to get it, then. How much is it on there? I believe it used to be about $20 on Steam. I'm not sure if it's really worth it for $20 though. I would sooner buy Puzzle Quest 1 before I'd buy Puzzle Quest 2, that's for sure. Also, we did go through all of Puzzle Quest 2, and Puzzle Quest 2, while you would understand most of the lore and stuff without ever playing Puzzle Quest 1, it does actually make some references to Puzzle Quest 1's lore. So much that you wouldn't understand what's going on. Specific types that were in Puzzle Quest 1, as well as the final boss of Puzzle Quest 1, and a few other things here or there, but those were like the main two. The Dark Dwarf, a couple of these specific typings within the game, and the final boss was mentioned a couple times. The final boss of Puzzle Quest 1 and Puzzle Quest 2, I mean, was mentioned a couple times. Completing all challenges before next patch. What do you mean? Currently, well, every single kingdom has challenges attached to them. The things that are called challenges. These right over here, if you just click on any kingdom, and then click over in challenges, so you have all these. I'm trying to complete out these. The main reason for this is the challenges for all the kingdoms are being updated next patch, and they give more loot, and will help us progress further on how far we already have them done, if we were to do them now before next patch. So I would highly advise everyone, if you haven't already, to complete out all challenges for all kingdoms prior to next patch. We don't know exactly when next patch is, but it's likely within the next week to few weeks. But it is advised to complete out all challenges prior to that, as the loot for it now is actually slightly better than the loot that it will have later on. It'll also make you one step closer to completing out all challenges of the new system. And the new system is going to take a little upwards of 20 hours to actually complete. And you can end up getting a few of those hours down now if you end up getting all of the challenges done now. I'm just not going to get a few hours off of it. I think it would normally be about 22 hours. I think it cuts off about 2 hours if you do them all now. All of the challenges. Also, why are we not one-shotting again? Also, these submerges are being annoying as well. Getting in our way. But there we go. Okay, another kingdom down. How many more to go? Not the slightest clue. Let's see, where do we even head to next? I guess Dragon's Claw. Yep, there we go. I believe we only have 2 or 3 kingdoms left. We're almost there. Well, it's actually an overall buff. The overall loot that you'll get from challenges is way higher next patch. However, as far as where the overlap on these challenges are compared to the next patch's challenges, you'll get more loot from doing them now than later, the current challenges that exist. However, the entirety of the challenge system will net more next patch. However, you won't overlap any by doing them now. Doing them now will only complete out the first set of 7 of 10, and there's going to be 9 more sets of 7 next patch that are impossible to do now by any means. Also, do we need to go lower difficulty? Why are these things not dying? Oh, you have barrier every extra turn, that's why. That's why you're not dead. And now you're dead. Well, $15 for Puzzle Quest 2 is not that bad then. I believe Puzzle Quest 1's $10 on Steam. Also, you can easily download the DLC for the game for free by just copying the file from the forum. Someone has a post on it. But I have no clue why Puzzle Quest 2 isn't sold on Steam anymore. That's really strange. Not sure how long it's been like that, but very weird. Has something to do with the publisher. But it's weird if they're still selling it at other locations and they just decided not to do Steam for whatever reason. Maybe they have an Xbox exclusivity deal now. I highly doubt that with that. But who knows, maybe the company is set up that way now. It's one of the companies that begin with N, one of the publishers. I forget what it's called. But maybe they do have an Xbox wow, why can I not say that word? Exclusivity or something for some of their older games. Alright, this Kingdom's gonna be annoying with Dragon Soul at the end. Forgot about that. He's gonna have 50% chance to revive into a thing each time. That's gonna be annoying. Yeah, I cannot say exclusivity for whatever reason. Okay, that time I got it. Also, that glitch is funny that it still keeps happening every single time. What even is going on there? It is really weird. I don't think next patch fixes that either. It doesn't happen that often. But it's a result of winning too quickly. And then the game not loading correctly. When they made this game, they never really expected people to be able to win in like 15 seconds per battle. Hello, Bushka! Welcome. Yeah, 40 minimum is really important on all hero classes. That's like the bare minimum before you even bother using them for any serious team. And 70 you ideally want to also get on all of them, like any of them that you're really planning on seriously using. 100 you can normally avoid on most hero classes. However, there are several that do gain quite decent benefits from 100. The most useful 2 benefits, or just 3 really useful benefits off of 100. Immune to stun with all those other immunities. The 7% instant kill chance every single time you get a kill. And the triple damage to burning every single time you take a skull on a burning enemy. Those 3 are the most noteworthy level 100s. There's a few other ones that get used occasionally, like the extra elemental magic and rogue magic and stuff like that, but for the most part, those are the biggest 3. The 7% instant kill every kill, the one that has a bunch of immunities, and wow, I just forgot what the other one was now. And the triple damage on burning. Those are the big primary 3 that you would end up doing. But the most important one being the one that has stun with all those other immunities. Because that also has a barrier every round. Anything that has all those immunities also have barrier every round. And are among some of the best hero classes in the game. Like Plague Lord and Titan, Sentinel, stuff like that. Because not only do they have immune to stun, so they can, it's a lot harder for them to lose all their traits on their hero, and of course each hero has 10 traits, but not just that, but you'd also be able to have a bunch of immunities, like immune to really important stuff, like immune to Devour, immune to Death Mark, so you can't be one-shotted as easily, and a few other immunities thrown in there as well. Do you think Gems of War 2 will come? No, I don't think they're ever going to make a Gems of War 2. They would make a multiplayer version of Gems of War before they ever make a Gems of War 2. It'd probably be by a different name than Gems of War, though, if they were to ever do that. But no, I don't think they have any intention on making a sequel. They will milk this game for every dollar they can. They'll probably have this game going for like another decade. I wouldn't be surprised if this game lasts a while. If you compare it to Puzzles and Dragons, which is a game that I believe actually has a declining player base, they've still been going like the entire time and just still functioning. And Gems of War has a higher player base and a quicker growing player base. Let me actually see. When did that come out? They also did a lot of advertisement initially, whereas Gems of War has had like 0 advertisement. I really wish they would advertise, because that would help this channel. It would indirectly be advertising this channel. But I don't think they've ever really bothered advertising for this game. And a lot of the stuff that they do have is like really like lackluster. Like trailers for the game and stuff. Wish they would put more effort into that. Puzzles and Dragons, I believe I was looking for. When did that game come out? Because that game's still like alive. And it's a kind of similar premise to Gems of War. When did this game release? Puzzles and Dragons release. How old is this game? 2012 is when it released. So it's been going for 7 years. Gems of War has been going for 5 years. 5-year anniversary is in 2 or 3 months. So could it be another decade? Or who knows, even longer. Never know. I know, they said they want to go for like another 20 years. Honestly, I don't think this game ever will die. It's a pretty solid match 3 game. And as long as they keep making new content for it and new things just to, you know, keep the game alive, I don't think it's ever going to die. Especially since this company, like, the only thing they really do is focus on, like, Infinity Plus 2, the development team for this game. Like, right now, their only real priority is this game. They're not really working on any side projects unless they have some kind of secret side project that we're not aware of. Puzzle Quest 3. But, we don't really, they're basically just primarily working on this and not really anything else to our knowledge. So, yeah, the whole company is just, you know, focusing on this. Let's see. What is the creature in second slot? Rowan. You get it for free from completing out the Forest of Thorns questline, if you don't already own her. She's one of the best Kingdom Epics that you get for free in the entire game. Arguably the absolute best. She's very similar to Sunbird. The biggest liability with her, though, is that she has a... she does more damage than Sunbird later in the game once you have more stats. However, the biggest issue with her is if she takes any damage to her armor, she will lose a really substantial amount of damage. Whereas if Sunbird takes damage to its armor, it's going to do nothing. Because it's HP value that matters. So it can take like a tank or 2 of hits, and it won't matter. Whereas if Rowan gets touched at all, she loses a really high amount of her damage potential. Oh no, that's going to be annoying. This was the battle I was worried about. This final battle is just going to keep reviving with him. Yeah, Surian said, I believe he said something along the lines that they are planning on keeping this game alive forever. He's already mentioned in other Q&As that relative to the amount of time, Gems of War is the most profitable endeavor he has ever done. And he's been developing games for like 2 or 3 decades now. Maybe even longer than that. How old is he? I think he's in his 50s? 40s? It's either like mid-late 40s or somewhere's in 50s. Somewhere's around there. But yeah, he's been doing games for like 2 or 3 decades now, making games. And while this hasn't been his most profitable thing, because some of those games have been out for like literal decades, so obviously they've been able to make more money in that time, or, you know, over its lifespan. But relative to the amount of time, Gems of War is the most profitable thing he's ever done in his decades of making games. What do we take here? Let's grab, let's grab that for now. And it was explode into Rowan, and we're good to go. Please don't revive. Good. No! I gotta be like that. It's not even enough damage to kill. Am I still gonna stream when I'm 70? You mean when this thing is 70 or when I'm 70 years old? We don't even know what life will be like when that's that far down. See if the environment has killed us yet. No. But, I don't know. I plan on streaming and still doing content like this for quite a while. I've always been really into gaming. So I'm always going to be doing like some kind of gaming related content throughout my entire life. Even if I'm like 50, 60, 70 years old, I'm probably still going to be doing gaming related stuff to some degree. Okay, let's see. So, how close are we to all kingdoms now? That might actually have been the last one and we don't even know it yet. That could have been the last one. There's a chance that that was the final one that we had to do. Let me just double check. Nope, never mind, I got Silverglade. We probably got Silverglade, Urskea, Glacial Peaks, and I believe those are the only 3 left, pretty sure. Yep, Glacial Peaks, Urskea, and Silverglade. I believe those are the last 3. And after that, I believe that is every last kingdom completed on challenges. Nice. Okay, so let's go do them. Start here, do the other 2, and then we are done with all challenges finally. You got 142k PvP points this week, more than Tacit in the last year. Really? Have I done that little in the last year? Probably, because lately I've only been doing a few thousand per week. I haven't really been deliberately like going out of my way for it. Obviously, if we tried on a week, we could do about 80,000, I would say. I don't think I would bother doing more than that, though. I need to be above 100,000 takes a long while, as you probably already know. That's a nice solid amount of grinding, though. Yeah, I just haven't really been bothering for it, just because leaderboard's not worth it. Of course, the gold is still worth it, though. But the gold is the only real reward that you get from PvP for the most part. Then I guess technically ingots, but I'm pretty sure you're already been done with those for a while. I still need more epic ones, though. But we're getting pretty close. I think I need about 900 more epic ingots or so. But we're done with every other typing of ingot. Yeah, so far we've got to design a weapon and we've gotten to design a pet. Actually, the pet that's going to be available this Saturday was actually the pet that we got to design a while back. That was pretty cool. It wasn't my favorite option for it, though, but it is the one that ended up winning. But at least we got Dragon Kitty. We did at least win that. It was almost going to be the Doomskull thing at the time, because Doomskull was really popular at the time. But I was able to skew the polls in favor of Dragon Kitty. Though the type of Dragon Kitty that ended up winning was not my favorite design for it, but still a cute one. Best amount to do would be around 30k points. So you get 5 epic ingots. Yes, technically making top 50 is the actual best thing. If you care about the leaderboard, if you were to care about it, making 50 to 100 is actually the best reward. Or 100 to 200, whatever it was. Whatever the one that gives 5 epic ingots, as you mentioned, is technically the best leaderboard position. Which is really weird. I'm not sure why that is the case, but it is the case. Where not making the top of the leaderboard actually gives you better loot than making the top of the leaderboard. Of course, you're getting so much loot on the way to the top of the leaderboard that doesn't really matter. The leaderboard that you actually get is pretty trivial, but still. Still strange how they have that system set up. PvP is something that they've been wanting to rework, but just haven't gotten around to. It was supposed to happen last year, like at the end of the year. And at this point, it doesn't even look like it's going to be happening this year, so I'm not sure what their plan is for it. They're probably a little bit concerned with actually updating it too. Because a lot of people do spend a lot of time there. And they have to be careful not to like overly tweak it in any weird way. Otherwise it might upset a lot of people. Because a lot of endgame people spend a lot of time in PvP. Late game and endgame, particularly endgame. Very valuable resources. Yes, Shocktopus was a community-built troop. The Dragon Kitty, the one that's going to be available this Saturday, it was already available in the past, but that was the community-made pet. And the weapon, which doesn't exist yet, some kind of scythe that will be coming hopefully in the next few weeks to few months. I believe it's coming soon after version 4.5. That weapon that will be coming in was made by the community. So yeah, there's still plenty of other things that we could end up getting. Like a legend made by the community or a mythic made by the community. Though I don't think they're ever going to do something that higher rarity, so maybe they would do something else. But let's see, they've done one of basically everything then at that point. Unless there's like a delve theme based on the community. Maybe we can have like a theme for a delve that the community could make. It'd be kind of interesting. It'd kind of be like the equivalent of making a kingdom, except not as much work as making a kingdom. So it might be something that they could actually realistically do. Where we get like a whole community-built faction. Do you suggest to upgrade Yasmin's Pride to 9 or keep it at 8? You see that the last upgrade is destroy 3 greens. I would say keep it at 8. I upgraded all my weapons just for the sake of getting them, though. The only weapon I kept unupgraded, there's 2 of them. Mang and Prismatic Orb. Prismatic Orb because it wastes about 1 second if you get it upgraded every time you cast it. And Mang because it's weaker if you get it upgraded beyond 5. Not much weaker, but it is weaker. Because of the 1 red destroy that it does. But yeah, if you're planning on actually using that Yasmin weapon, I would say don't get it upgraded to the final level. I did just because I really don't have much intention to use it. It's very, very rarely useful for anything. And even if it is, it's probably not a meta team. Even if it is used for something on a team. Because it does relatively low. I believe with the amount of stats I have, it only does 13 HP and armor. And if it does an extra turn if there's 13 or more green. Though do keep in mind, the check for 13 or more green would check prior to the 3 destroy. However, those 3 destroys would make it so there's less green on the board, which would be kind of counterproductive. But the check would be prior to the 3 destroy, though. So if you do get an upgrade, that's not as bad, but still bad. $10,000 gold. They actually were going to make a troop related to my character a while back, but ended up not going through mainly because of intellectual property concerns. It's one of the reasons why they also don't have merch. Because there's a lot of things that they have to go through with Infinity Plus 2 to make that work. Because they don't necessarily own everything that's related to the game. I'm not sure exactly what the whole relationship is with that, but like, they don't necessarily own all the assets that are related to the game and everything, even though they are the primary people developing the game. Because their publisher is the one that technically owns it, I believe, which is 505 Games. 505 Games doesn't work on the game to any capacity, I don't believe, but they do guide some things related to the game, probably with monetization, as well as, I believe they technically own it. Not sure exactly how that works, though, but asking Surian at some point, see what he will say into that. They haven't really mentioned much about it. Oh, we're lagging. Why is it lagging? There we go. Yes, there are quite a few World of Warcraft references in the game. The first one that comes to mind is Atlanta, the epic from Divinian Fields. I can't remember any other ones off the top of my head. But her flavor text is related to World of Warcraft. There's quite a few references on the flavor text. For any of you that don't know, if you go under your troop menu and you click on the troop, there's some dialogue over to the left of it. It's normally some kind of joke or some kind of reference. But every single troop has one. And there's over, what, 700 something troops now? So there's over 700 of them in the game. There's a lot of them. Yeah, we're almost there. I believe we just have 2 more challenges after this. Or not 2 more challenges, but 2 more kingdoms worth of challenges. And then we are done with all of them. Unless there's one that's hiding from us. But I believe those are the last 3 we need. Pretty sure. We'll find out soon. Okay, last challenge of this section, and then 2 more kingdoms. Unless there's more hiding from us. I've actually never well, actually, I have played World of Warcraft, but I was, like, really young at the time. I believe I was under 10 years old at the time. I never, like, seriously played it, though. The only MMO I got, like, extremely into at any point is RuneScape, and old school RuneScape. But, yeah, I never really got into many other MMOs. And currently, I don't play any MMOs. It just take up so much time. Way, way too much time. What do I grab here? Let's take that for now. So what troops do you think has the best artwork and the worst artwork? Frost Mage, or what's that one? That one thing that has a bow. That one Frost Elven Mage, or that one with the bow from Glacial Peaks is pretty bad art. Best art? I like Sunbird. I like a lot of the dragon arts for this game. Mirror looks pretty decent. Bonnie Rose looks pretty decent. Yeah, I would probably have to say most of the dragons, actually. Also, I like that, like, the effect that they do around quite a few of their troops. Like how Dragon Soul has, like, those little things sticking out. I don't really have any good examples of them here. Yeah, like these little effects that they have. Not on the Mirage Queen specifically, but there's some troops that it looks really nice on. And Furnace actually looks pretty good on, too. Yeah, MMOs can eat up a lot of time. The amount of time it takes to max a account on something like RuneScape, I believe, is around, unless you use the most efficient methods. If you're using, like, realistic methods, like methods that most people are likely going to do, it takes, like, 3,000 hours to max an account. And then you can start playing the game. You basically have to play the game for about 3,000 hours until you can start playing the game. Approximately. It's around 2,000 to 3,000 hours. I believe with most efficient methods, it's actually over 2,000 hours. But most people aren't going to use the most efficient method just because it's really tedious, some of the most efficient methods. If there was a tacit class, what would your talent be? I'm not even sure what it would be. Not even sure. I can't even give, like, a good guess for that. It'd probably be something silence related. Like silence a random enemy every extra turn. That'd be ridiculously annoying, though. Well, we really need more silence in this game. Yeah, RuneScape does have a lot of pay-to-play aspects. However, old school, I'm not sure how normal RuneScape is, but old school RuneScape, you can actually perpetually play for free. It does require a bit of grind, though. But with better methods, you can grind free membership for a month within 1 to 5 hours within old school RuneScape. So it's not too bad. I'm not sure what the current economy is like in the game right now, though. Yeah, it only takes like 1 to 5 hours to grind a whole month of free membership. So you have to do that literally every month to go out of your way for it. What do we take here? Grab that. Get another explosion going. And 1.5 more factions to go, or kingdoms, I mean. End the game on turn 2. Taha. That would be a funny ability. Also, the stream keeps dying. So does the visual. The game is starting to slowly break down. From winning too much, too quick. If they were to add something that could silence all enemies every extra turn, it probably would be a little bit overpowered. Just because you would have to build a team to counter it. Like, there is no not countering it. Like, some teams you can get away with not countering it. Quite a few, like, meta teams. That team, however, if you were to run a team with 0 immune to silence against a team that could silence you every extra turn, that would be really, really, really ridiculously OP. So that probably would never be a thing. I feel like silence every extra turn could be a thing, but to silence all enemies every extra turn, I don't feel like ever would happen. It'd just be a bit too strong. Though it can be countered with Voice of Orpheus. So that's the only really big hard counter it would have. Because they got rid of all the smaller counters, like Herdmaster used to have Impervious with Cleanse and a few others. Currently, the only troop in the entire game with Impervious plus Cleanse is Voice of Orpheus. And that's kind of its whole premise of Voice of Orpheus. and one of the reasons why it's so useless. The only point of Voice of Orpheus is to counter silence. That's like the whole premise of that troop. But you never see it because there's no good silences around for the most part. Almost no one runs silence. There's no good late game options for it, at least in the current state of the game. Like early game options, you have like Merline, Satyr Magician, and some stuff like that. But late game, you have like Silent One, and that's not the best of things because it doesn't help you win any quicker. It doesn't have any board control. It just ends your turn and just silences the enemy. If it had any amount of board control, it could maybe be considered worth it. But it doesn't speed up the battle in any way, shape, or form. You wonder if a taunt type troop think reverse stealth? Oh yeah, taunt would be a really nice mechanic. It's pretty common in a lot of games. They just haven't added one here. That'd be pretty good with the new reflect mechanic too. Taunt and reflect a ally would be really, really interesting. If they add taunt as a stats effect, which basically just makes it so if for its duration, you'd have to target that or anything that's also taunted. Kind of, yeah, like you mentioned, inverse stealthy. But, yeah, that would reflect would be really nice. We are actually 100% getting reflect next patch. That is something that is happening. A stats effect that has a, reflects 50% of damage. Spell damage or, physical damage. It'll reflect 50% of it. And that does stack with Gloomleaf's 50% skull reflect. Theoretically meaning you can reflect 100% skulls with it, that combo. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Reflect pans out next patch. Obviously, we won't have any real Reflect options initially. We mainly just have Divinia and stuff like that. But as we get Reflect options, we'll see. Be interesting to see how it pans out. Yeah, next patch we get to mess around with Reflect tanks. It'd be cool to see how that pans out. I don't believe we're getting that until a couple factions from now, though. It won't really be viable until they add a faction that uses the mechanic. There's probably going to be a whole faction that ends up utilizing it, which might also be one of the most annoying factions ever. Because if they can spam it very quickly, or if they have it on 4 times, 5 times in matches, which would be a really hilarious troop if they add a legend that has add Reflect to a random ally every 4 times or 5 times match. That would actually be really interesting. You can just build whole durability teams where all you do is just keep spamming durability and let the enemy die off of you. It'd be really funny. Oh, 2 more sets and then 1 more kingdom. And I believe we're done. It's kind of funny. That took exactly like almost 3 hours. Normally we stream for 3 hours on Fridays. And I was just going to do it until we finished it, regardless of how long it took. But what's kind of funny is it's just happened to fall on almost the exact same amount of time that we would normally stream on a Friday. That worked out too perfectly, it looks like. Because after we finish out this little set of battles, yeah, we just have, I believe, 1 more kingdom. Unless I missed one somewhere, I believe we only have 1 kingdom left after this kingdom. So I'll double check. We might have missed one somewhere randomly. Would Reflect kill a troop doing instant kill? No. The only instant kill that would be Reflect instant killed is Archer. Because Archer's instant kill is calculated a bit weird. But no, the only instant kill that should die to Reflect damage should only be Archer. And the reason for that is because it's calculated a bit different. Because it counts as basically almost as infinite skull damage. So anything that does any form of skull reflect will instantly kill Archer if it triggers. But no, every instant kill in the game should survive a reflect. Or, you know, not survive, but it won't do infinite damage to them. It'll just do the amount of damage that was actually done. And some instant kills will even bypass it. For example, Devour shouldn't take any damage to reflect at all. Because it's not actually doing damage, it's doing It's just doing a devour mechanic, which functions a bit different. So wow, this team has such high durability. We almost need to put on like no difficulty at all. Warlord 2 is way too high stats for that. So durable, but there we go. A black screen of death. Loading, loading, loading. Yes, Dracos 1337 shouldn't take any damage to it, I don't believe. We'll have to see exactly, but it's either going to just take 50% reflect or it's going to take no damage. It will not instantly die to it, I know that for sure. Some instant kills do work slightly differently though, like how Zukof's does compared to some of the others. But they definitely won't instantly die to it. Archer should be the only thing that does. Just because it's a bit weird how it functions compared to other options. Because Assassin doesn't die, but that's because it throws an instant kill on last slot rather than infinite damage on first slot. Because the two are different, and their code is slightly different on different instances. But no, the main thing that Reflect is going to be good against is spell spam teams. Spell spam teams and skull spam teams. Teams that try to like extremely quick kill your team. Reflect will be good against. You can just throw some durability, throw some Reflect, and they literally just kill themselves off of trying to do damage to you. Like Queen Titania trying to cast on a full team of Reflect, she'll just die. Every AoE in general, or split damage, are just going to pretty much die if the entire enemy team is reflected. Because they'll take 50% reflect for every single bit of damage they do. So they're basically just going to take half the damage of their ability back. And if they're using a full AoE where they're hitting everything for, let's say, 50 damage, it's going to do 100 damage back to them. Dedicating 1 hour a day to this game is really taxing. I don't know, I find it fun. Doing it for 2 accounts I do find to be a little bit more annoying, but that's mainly because I don't feel like I'm getting as much progress, because I feel like any time I'm doing on one account, I'm not making progress on the other. But, I don't know, I don't mind putting the, like a few hours into this game each day. Normally it's more towards, let's say these days probably closer to 3 hours, I would say. But there are days where we do more, like obviously these Fridays. And Saturdays, sometimes we get like as much as like 6 hours in to the game. Or even 8, depending on what we're doing. Though probably closer to 6. But, I don't know. The 1 hour per day isn't really that bad. Like, it goes by just by doing the dailies. I sometimes 100 kills or whatever you need for that, super quick. Doing a little bit of PvP, stuff like that. Doing whatever the normal little event thingy is. Like, if it's a pet battle or, you know, whatever like that. Not that bad. Also, it's good just to throw in between the day too. I normally don't exactly do it like that, but obviously you don't have to do all of it at once. Like you can split out all the dailies and just do it like 5 minutes when you're just not doing anything. Especially if you have it on phone or on Switch, you can literally just pull it out whenever and just play it for a few minutes and just do that like several times a day. And while doing that, you could also just take your tribute each time. Does the new Reflect completely invalidate Web Spinner? No, because you can still Dispel. You would just have to use a hero class that has Dispel on it. But no, it doesn't invalidate Web Spinner. Dispel would take place prior to doing damage. So if you do a Skull Spam Dispel team, you will not ever get Reflected. Because Dispel does remove Reflect. And it takes priority prior to the gems that you take. So if you take an extra turn Skull with Dispel, you will not take any damage from the Reflect. If they're using Gloomleaf, you'd still take the 50% from its trait, but you wouldn't take any from the Reflect, specifically. Gloomleaf's still going to be pretty bad, but some people might start building around it just because it does theoretically have 100% skill Reflect if you get Reflect on top of it. Oh, so that one troop that was in that loading screen was that one with ugly art I was talking about. And digesting a troop has Inferno armor. Oh yeah, if you trigger its 15% instant kill, if you triggers Archer's 15% instant kill on Inferno armor or Gloomy's 50%, you will die. Even if you have barrier, I believe you still die. It's just because Archer does. It's really weird. Archer has a different instant kill than anything else in the game. I'm not sure why they have it like that. But the way it's coded is completely different than every other option that has instant kill. And because of it, it gets reflected from Skull Reflect. And it does do infinite damage of reflection. In that particular instance. Though I believe that's the only instance of it in the entire game that will interact that way. Though there is a slight glitch with Skull Spam, though, that could make it so you do way more damage than you should take. For example, if you take like 3 to 5 skulls at once in different clumps, it'll overcalculate how much reflect damage you'll take, and you'll just instantly die. And the main reason for that is it's applying multiple different skulls at once. So let's say it has 100 durability and has 25% reflect, and you hit it for 100 damage. But if you hit it for 100 damage 5 times, it's actually doing, what is that? That's 125 damage reflect, rather than simply the 25 that it should have done. So some skull spam teams can get over-reflected, because it counts each individual skull multiple times on it, even if it only has a certain amount of durability. Like normally if there was a certain amount of HP, like 100, the max amount that you could ever deal damage to is that 100. But if you take multiple skulls at once, it calculates each individual one. And each individual one can be calculated for reflect. Which would normally mean you die. Because in most instances that would happen. In the instance of skull spam against reflect. It depends how they clump though. Yeah, we'll see how it pans out next patch. I haven't gotten to test it much on the beta, and the main reason for that is there's no good way to place it. The only good way to do it was just to spam Divinia over and over again with extra turns, just spamming like 2 or 3 of it. But there wasn't really a good way to check it out, nor will there be next patch. Even though it's coming in next patch, we won't really be able to viably use it until a faction comes in that brings in the mechanic, because the only thing we'll really have to use is Divinia for it, and that'll be extremely inconsistent. Technically, other things can do it too, but obviously Divinia will be the best option for it. At least initially. Just because it does a random stats effect every extra turn. And that would include the Reflect. Starting next patch. But yeah, does anyone else have any other questions or anything you want me to go over? Otherwise, I'll double check the kingdoms, but I believe we are finally done, question mark. We'll find out. But after we finish out this kingdom, I believe we are done with all challenges finally. At least until next patch, when we have to go spend like 20 plus hours to go do it again. To imagine, this was just shorter grind of challenges. We're gonna have to spend like upwards of 20 hours next patch to go do all the challenges for every kingdom. So we're gonna get a bunch of loot along the way. But, yeah, this is like the short version of it right now. But what we get done now is a little bit less than what we have to do later. So what kingdom would you like most to be reworked? Probably Adana. Mechs are pretty useless right now, with exception of like Tina, Bomba, and like a few there, here or there. But, I don't know, Adana hasn't aged well throughout the years. At all. But Grimwood's already gotten a complete rework before. Yeah, it's going to be about 20 plus hours to do all the challenges next patch. Could be even more if you have lower stats. But based on how I calculated it out earlier, I believe it's around 20 hours. You have to do 63 battles. Assuming you already did all these, you have to do 63 battles per kingdom. And some of those battles can be pretty time-consuming. So time-consuming that they could take like a minute. So that's like a minute per kingdom. So theoretically, it could even be closer to 30 hours or 40 hours. It really just depends how long it takes to do the battles. And what you have as options to do those battles with. But yeah, it could be even higher than that. It could be anywhere from like 20 to 40 hours even. We'll find out. Is that it? Did we finally finish all challenges? Hold up. Let's go do a final check. Let's click every last kingdom. Got it. Got it. Got it. I think we have finally done it. Every challenge completed. After not doing some of these for like 4 years, we have finally finished every challenge in this game. Because some of these are like ancient, like the Grim Woods ones we didn't do and stuff like that. But yeah, let's click every single last one and just double check to make sure. But I believe after 4.5 years, we finally got around to doing all the challenges. That's funny. But it looks like it. Well, we're ready for next patch now. Come on, next patch tomorrow, go. No, it's likely a few weeks from now. I still wanted to get it done now, though, in case it is next week, though. You never know. But yep, looks like we're done. I'll still go double check all of them, just in case, though. Because I just randomly missed one. But it does look like we are complete. And I highly advise doing the same before next patch, if you haven't already. I think I'm multi-clicking them, but I'm just making sure we don't accidentally skip one. Yep, and unless we haven't done Drock Zoom, but I believe I had to do Drock Zoom because of 6-star. Yep, and that's it. We're done. Oh, it just froze. Did I just freeze the game right at the end? I just froze the game. The game just froze. There we go. That was really weird. Well, we did it. We did it. Every last kingdom has been completed. All the challenges. There we go. Let's see. They're resetting challenges? No, they're just adding a lot more challenges. Next patch are going to be bringing in another 9 sets of 7 challenges for various other rewards. There's going to be 70 battles total. You'll have 7 of them done if you already did all the challenges for all the kingdoms. But there'll be 70 total. 67 if you, or not 67, sorry. 63 if you've already done the current, all of them on all the factions, or all the kingdoms, I mean. Why do them before the patch? Because they give more loot before the patch, prior to doing them after. Also, it's really good hero XP. We got this like 10 levels during the course of this stream over the last 3 hours. Oh yeah, one other thing I want to go check. Let me see how many souls I had at the beginning of the stream. Can I still see all the way back to the beginning? Yes, I can. How many souls did we start with? We started with calculator time. We started with 7 million. We started with 7,220,000 second 0,056. And now we subtract however much we currently have. How much is that? And now we subtract 7,283,407. And that comes out to 63,351 souls, meaning we gained around 21,000 souls per hour. Actually, the exact amount that we gained per hour, since it took us 3 hours, is 21,117 souls per hour. And the fact that you could do that for about 4 to 5 hours across all the factions, or all the kingdoms, that's not too bad. Yeah, we were gaining a rate of that's like average soul rate right there. Kind of below average for this late in the game, given that we have fair Shiraz, but yeah, 21,000 per hour. Though that's not the main reason we were doing it, obviously. I was mainly doing it for the class XP, and so we'd be one step closer for next patch. Were the main 2 reasons why we did that. But we also ended up getting 63,000 souls across the time. 21,000 per hour. But yeah, that's decent. Let's see. What about next week's troop? Any new Mythic incoming? No, I believe the Mythic's the week after next week, if I'm not mistaken. We're getting new faction next Friday. We're also getting 17-star Darkstone next week. I don't believe the troops were good, but we're getting 17-star Darkstone nonetheless. Also, the troops for next faction are horrifically bad, unfortunately. But, yeah, hopefully we'll get some good stuff soon. Start changing up the meta. Gob Truffle is probably the most recent good thing that we end up getting, and that was decently fun. Really surprised they didn't nerf it at all either. How many shards is good to have saved for a new faction to get all mythics and treasure to upgrade? It normally takes around, I believe, 8,000, if I'm not mistaken. I believe 8,000 is about enough, give or take 2,000. It's like 6 to 10,000. But yeah, 8 to 10,000 is normally pretty safe for it. If you have over 10,000, that should be enough to max it out. The reason I keep going for more is because, of course, we need the excess treasure in order to upgrade stuff. But anyways, guys, does anyone else have any other questions? Otherwise, I'm probably going to be heading off for now. We'll be back in about 7 hours from now, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to go do some of our other dailies, as well as just messing around with probably PvP. And, you know, just messing around with stuff. Starting to get this Corsair Hero class upgraded. Looks like we have about 4 hours until we get it maxed of grinding. So we're probably going to be doing that between today and tomorrow. And I'll cover the Hero class soon once we actually get that leveled. And yeah, we'll have this stream later tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 hours from now. And tomorrow we'll be streaming around the same time, maybe a little bit later. But tomorrow's stream, we're going to be grinding out this Hero class, ideally to level 70. I think we can get it done next stream. If not by the end of next stream, definitely by the end of tomorrow night's stream. But definitely need to get it before next Guild War. Corsair level 70 for next Guild War would be pretty useful because that's +3 blue. And obviously +3 blue for a blue Guild War is going to be very, very powerful. So we're going to mess with that on next blue Guild War day. And I'll probably have a team video and stuff going over it this weekend. With most of the teams obviously being based on blue Guild War. Because that's the main thing you would bother using Corsair for if you're going to bother bringing it out. There might be a few other instances, but the main thing you're going to use it for is any team that uses 2 really big blue troops, the new Mythic that's coming next month, and blue Guild War. Those are the 3 biggest things that's going to be used for. But yeah, it's going to be really good with next Mythic. Next Mythic's actually really, really solid. I'll be mentioning more on that soon, but it's kind of like an Infernus, but better in some situations, actually. It's been a while since we've gotten something better than Infernus in some angle, so it'll be interesting to see how it pans out. It doesn't have a Storm attached to it, though, is its biggest liability, but it has enough going for it that shouldn't really matter. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for stopping by. Hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and I will catch all of you later. Goodbye, everyone, and best of luck with everything. Catch you later.